Welcome, everybody, to the pre-NFL draft with the Compas. I'm Fernando Ramirez. That is Gilbert Manzano. We are excited. Yesterday, we had a loaded show with Emmanuel Morgan. Then we had Tyler Dragon on, where we had some good conversations. I pitched Shador and Deion Sanders to the Cowboys.
Shador.
Shout out to Dan and Dago. Obviously, Gilbert, freaking like if he was Shaquille O'Neal, slammed it down. But we'll get into some more stuff today. Gilbert, another loaded show.
Yes,
Today
sir.
we have our good friend in about 3 minutes. We're gonna get Doug Kyed from the Boston Herald to talk all things Patriots, and then we get our compa Sam Fortier to jump on from the Washington Post. He is going to talk Washington Commanders. We got it all for you guys. But Gilbert, don't we have a surprise for the folks?
Actually, we do. We're going to unveil, what do you want to call it? A hype video, a trailer, a promo
Our
video?
intro. We're pros. We got an intro now.
We've been needing one, yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? So here it goes. Make sure you guys I hope you guys like it. Here it goes.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're Compas.
Yeah,
we
are.
There you go.
Hey. There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
That seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Too, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Yo, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't remember what's my favorite moment. Starting off with Ryan Garcia, we have you with Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco saying, I love you, man. And then you telling me to wake up. You and Austin Eckler telling me to wake up, man. And I still remember that day. I shouldn't reveal, but I am maybe a couple times vaccinated. And that day I got the stab there, and I was tired. And I said, you know what? I'm going to power through and do that interview. And Austin Eckler and yourself told me to wake the hell up.
That was hilarious. We also got Chris Rump to do that once also.
Yeah,
so that was pretty fun. That was kind of my shtick for a while, getting Gilbert.
That was like our first year doing it too, and kind of wild to think.
Yeah, exactly. We've come a long way. See, that's another reason why we wanted to do that. And shout out to Graham Bauer. That he's a player that Dan and Dago coach. He put that together. He said Dan reached out to him and he's like, "You think you could do this?" He's like, "Bro, I got you." So he put that together. So shout out to him. Real compa, that's amazing. Great work, Graham. That was totally amazing. That was exciting to see because it kind of shows also kind of the way we started. I mean, first it was you and I. Then you're like, you know what? Like the bromance that you and Dan developed, you're like, I really like the dynamic of your brother. We should bring him on. And then it's like, all right, we bring in Dan and Dago. And then obviously about a year later, you're like, hey, what if we bring Vic the producer in? I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's do it. So yeah, slowly but surely growing it, and then backgrounds and everything. It's just all the guests that we've gotten also has been definitely awesome to see.
Yeah, shout out to Graham, because I remember Dan was like, you know what, we're gonna get Graham to do the intro video. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll wait a week or two, and right away, 24 hours later, Dan's like, here it is. Make sure to play it. So shout out to Graham for that.
Yeah, shout out. And another shout out that we have to do, obviously, is our boy, our compa, Doug Kyed from the Boston Herald. He is now going to jump on with us. Doug, how are you? Great to see you, man. How you been? Everything, you getting ready for the draft?
I am. It can't come quickly enough at this point. It's been a long journey since the combine, but I'm excited that it's finally here. Good to see you guys.
Good seeing you too, Doug. A little more laid back without Bill Belichick out there, or not really?
It certainly is. Hold on, let me get my shot right so I don't have a bunch of junk in my background. Yes, things are much more laid back without Bill Belichick around. We noticed that right from the start at the combine, when scouts and coaches and everyone were actually, kind of out and about rather than hiding away in their hotel rooms. And it was kind of the same thing at the NFL annual meeting. Shortly after Gerard Mayo was hired and all the new assistant coaches were hired, They had kind of a non-alcoholic happy hour with all of the media so that the media and the new coaches and everything could get to know each other. These are all things that would have never happened when Bill Belichick was head coach. So I've said this a lot. We'll see if it all works. We'll see if this all goes well. We'll see if this is the best approach. But for the media, it's certainly been a lot more welcoming with Gerard Mayo as head coach and Elliot Wolf as the de facto GM.
Fernando, if you don't mind me asking a couple more questions, I'll let you do your thing. But you mentioned Gerard Mayo. How's that been going? Because you obviously heard about Robert Kraft saying we like this guy. He was going to leave a couple of times, but they gave him more money as an assistant coach. They try to keep him. Obviously, the roles have always shifted. Because they wanted him for a reason. Like, what have you seen from Gerard Mayo so far?
Yeah, I mean, players have all raved about him that we've talked to so far. Coaches have raved about him. Definitely a really, warm, opening guy. He draws people in. He's got a lot of charisma. And he was great as a defensive coach with the Patriots. He was a co-linebackers coach with Steve Belichick, and they kind of shared those defensive coordinator duties with Bill Belichick. So Steve Belichick was calling plays. Bill Belichick obviously had his hand on a lot of things, but Gerard Mayo did a lot of the other behind the scenes defensive coordinator duties since he came on staff in 2019. So I don't know. I mean, he's going to have to learn on the fly. It's a big jump to go from being a co-linebackers coach / 1/3 of a de facto defensive coordinator to being a head coach. But he's got a lot of smart people around him. He's got at least one guy on staff, Ben McAdoo, who has former head coaching experience. I'm not sure how good the Patriots will actually be this season based on the talent on their roster. So I'm not sure if this year is going to be the best indication of his future success. But people certainly like him so far, and we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. He's been dealt kind of a rough hand, like I said, with the roster, but they're building it up. We'll see how they do in the draft, how much that can improve things. But I don't know. I'm optimistic about it, but probably not for this season.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, one more to get the draft coverage started. And obviously, Mayo is going to be judged off of, what they do at quarterback. I'll ask you the question right now, but if they get a quarterback in draft on number 3, it's all about progress. Is it a good rookie year? Obviously, it went poorly for Bryce Young. The coach went out in 9 games. CJ Stroud did well in Houston. We are looking at DeMeco Ryans like he's a new hot shot coach coming up in the rankings there. So, is that the way to go? Getting a quarterback? Obviously, like you mentioned, you don't know they're going to be good at all because they don't have a good roster. What if they go Marvin Harrison Jr.? You can't pass it on Marvin Harrison Jr., or could you, for a Drake Maye or JJ McCarthy? So it's starting to line up, Doug, as Caleb Williams number 1, Jaden Daniels number 2. So maybe the draft really gets started with the Patriots at number 3. How do you kind of see that playing out?
I currently see them staying put at 3 and drafting a quarterback. That was, it's Tuesday at 7:10 p.m. That was the late, or Eastern time at least. That was the latest I was hearing last night. I was talking to someone who said that they'd be surprised and that they didn't anticipate there being a trade. Of course, that could still change in the next 2 days here, but that's the current expectation, that they will stick at 3, that they will take a quarterback. But at the same time, I have heard that there's people within the organization pretty high up who are supportive of a trade, who would be supportive of acquiring more assets, of getting that bag that Gerard Mayo has said, getting a great deal in place for a trade. I think that they need to be knocked out of their socks with whatever trade offer that comes. I don't think that that's happened yet at this point. I'm not sure if it will come. I mean, teams obviously would like to move up. There's a lot of quarterbacks who are appealing in this draft, but the Patriots need one too. So right now I would expect it to be Drake Maye. The tough thing is that with the Vikings being kind of the top trade candidate, moving down to 11 is so far. Like at that point, you're not guaranteeing yourself one of the top 4 quarterbacks. You're not guaranteeing yourself one of the top 3 wide receivers, and you're not guaranteeing yourself one of the top 3 offensive tackles. So like if you're sitting there at number 11 and your only choice is between, Brock Bowers and a right tackle, like that's not what the Patriots need right now. So they would almost have to trade down to 11 and then move back up to get one of those guys that, that Marvin Harrison Jr. or one of the wide receivers or one of the other quarterbacks. And there's no guarantee that they would be able to do that. So I don't know, trading down to 11 seems like a risk, but like I said, current expectation, staying put at 3, drafting the quarterback. I do think the Patriots will give Gerard Mayo a longer leash than the Panthers gave to Frank Reich last season, just because Gerard Mayo is a first-year head coach here. I think he'll get at least like 2 or 3 years at least to prove himself. But yeah, if they take a quarterback there at number 3, Gerard Mayo is tied to that quarterback. Elliott Wolf is tied to that quarterback. Everyone within the organization is tied to that one player. So they have to be really confident that he's going to be the guy.
Frank Reich only got the full season. No, he got only
like
a couple,
8 or 9 games. Yeah,
like 9 games, right? Who lasted longer, Urban Meyer or him?
Probably Urban Meyer.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
that would be a good. That would. Hey, Jeopardy! If you guys are listening, that'd be a good. That'd be a good question for you guys. Doug, do you buy all the Jaden Daniel like love? It seems like they're saying that the Patriots love him, the Commanders love him, and that the Raiders are in love with him and want to jump up. Are you buying all that talk when it surrounds him?
Yeah, I mean, at least one person I've spoken to who's once again very high up in the organization loves Jaden Daniels. I've talked to another person within the organization who has him as their number 2 quarterback behind Caleb Williams. So right there in line with where the Commanders would be taking him. At the Herald, me and Andrew Callahan, my beat partner, did some deep dives on quarterbacks. I had Jaden Daniels duties, and I mean, I think I'll need to be a little bit more convinced when I see him in the NFL. I think he's a good player. I think he's dynamic with the ball in his hand. He's a great downfield accurate passer on 20+ yard throws. I wasn't sure if I saw a superstar when I was watching him, and his downfield throws were amazing. They really were. Like he's hitting guys in stride. He's throwing the ball perfectly into the deep corner of the end zone. But I had to keep reminding myself that he is throwing to 2 first-round picks at wide receiver with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Like that can't be dismissed, because I was seeing a lot of those same things from Mac Jones back in 2021 when he's throwing to Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle and then it doesn't translate in the NFL. There's a lot more skills for Jaden Daniels to translate in the NFL. But, just because he can be a Heisman Trophy winner in college doesn't mean that he's going to be that impactful in the NFL. It worries me a little bit that it took until his 5th year for him to really break out. He's 2 years older than some of these other quarterbacks in the draft. So there's concerns, but at the same time, people who are very smart are very high on Jaden Daniels, and there's a reason for that. He's got a very unique, intriguing skill set.
Do you feel like, I mean, and that's what Gilbert and that's something I've been pounding the table on with Gilbert, is that some of these quarterbacks, you need to have patience with them. I mean, not everybody gets what Justin Herbert got when he came in, and he gets Keenan Allen and he gets Mike Williams, or other guys that they come into great situations and they have great receivers. Do you feel like right now the message from the Patriots is, okay, if we draft a quarterback, we have to be very patient with him and not throw him in the fire? That's my understanding of why they signed Jacoby Brissett. Mm-hmm. Just is that kind of what you're hearing and what you think might happen with this organization? Yeah,
they're at least willing to sit whatever rookie quarterback that they wind up with, and to put Jacoby Brissett in there. That's what Elliott Wolf was saying in his presser last week, that Jacoby Brissett can support and compete with whatever quarterback, if they bring one in, that they bring in. So personally, I think that if it's Drake Maye or JJ McCarthy, like quite honestly, sit them for a year. I think that's probably the best thing that they could do, just because there's not a very proven offensive line protecting the quarterback. The Patriots don't even have an X receiver on their roster right now. Like the closest thing to an X receiver is either Keyshawn Boutte or Jalen Reagor. They're just chock full of Z receivers and slot receivers. So, they're probably gonna have to find that player in the draft as well. I mean, at least a month or two, I would sit a rookie quarterback just to make sure that the offensive line is settled, see what the wide receiver core looks like. And yeah, that's why you signed Jacoby Brissett for $8 million, because he can be that bridge quarterback. He could be a good mentor for a rookie quarterback. And yeah, they probably won't win a ton of games with the way the roster is currently constructed with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, but they can at least be slightly better than they were last year, because Brissett is more proven than Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi and the other quarterbacks they had last year.
Doug, have they learned their lesson from the first go around with Mac Jones? I mean, you just mentioned some of the weapons that they have, and I think if we were in a WWE crowd, we'd hear what, who, like, I mean, Devontae Parker, obviously people know, but like, there's other receivers where you're like, who is that? So do you feel like the Patriots have learned their lesson and they know, hey, you know what? If we're gonna succeed, we have to get good weapons. Because I know they were in on the dude that went to the Tennessee Titans on
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. There you go.
Yep.
Sorry, not the gambler. Allegedly. but do you feel like, I mean, they've kind of learned their lesson a little bit when it comes to that?
I think they've learned their lesson in a lot of ways at quarterback, but the biggest one is just that the relationship between Bill Belichick and Mac Jones really broke down after year one. And I think that a lot of that, I mean, you can blame both guys, honestly. Like Bill Belichick, not a player's coach, much more of a disciplinarian. Yeah. Mac Jones had his own, had maturity issues. And he's, showing up coaches on the field and things just really broke down there in year two. I think the other big thing that they can learn from the Mac Jones experience is that Mac Jones had 3 different offensive coordinators in his 3 years with the Patriots. Like they need to figure that out. And I think that, Alex Van Pelt wasn't the sexiest hire as far as an offensive coordinator goes this offseason, but he's at least a guy that you can depend on who will be able to stick around for a few years. I don't think that Alex Van Pelt is going to be plucked away as a head coach after year 1 or year 2. So there's definitely things that they can learn from that. The big thing, though, definitely is that they need to build the talent around the quarterback. And, ideally, they would like to wind up out of the first 3 rounds of the draft with a quarterback, a wide receiver, an offensive tackle. But the board has to shake out that way. And there's no guarantee if they take an offensive tackle in the 3rd round that guy can be a starter right away. So, I mean, in the early parts of this new era, Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf and Kraft and everyone was talking about playoffs. That message has gotten a lot more quiet lately. And I think that that's smart because you can't set those expectations in year 1 to be making the playoffs. This is probably a team that's going to be competitive in 2025. And that's when you need to have the quarterback ready, have him out there week 1 and to really see what he can do.
So we just real quick, Gilbert, and I'll let you. He said the name. We haven't heard JJ McCarthy's name linked to the Patriots all that much, but you mentioned him. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like that could be the curveball where maybe they do take JJ McCarthy and surprise everybody, and or what are your thoughts and what have you heard about JJ?
Yeah, there was one report a few weeks ago from, I forgot where, I'm blanking on the name it was like a draft analyst who said that he had spoken to other GMs.
Well, there's a lot.
Yes,
air quotes.
who had heard he had spoken to other GMs who had heard that Elliott Wolf was high on JJ McCarthy. And after that report, I reached out to people that I know around the team, and they said, like, listen, Elliott Wolf is keeping his cards close to the vest. Like, he's not telling us which quarterbacks he likes. And they would have been surprised if he's out there blathering to other GMs about liking JJ McCarthy. So would I be shocked if they took JJ McCarthy at number 3? Like, relatively so, no. But from everyone that I've talked to, dating back to the combine, like everyone refers to like the top 3 at quarterback, and that being Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels, and Drake Maye. And that's continued into this week when I've talked to people. I have asked like lower level people, like, hey, what would you do with this pick? And like the response is like, I'd be happy with any of the top 3 quarterbacks. And that's, excluding JJ McCarthy. I think that JJ McCarthy, like if they trade down either to number 11 or 6 or wherever it is, like trade down to 11 and then move back up, I think JJ McCarthy would be a fine top 10 pick. Like I don't dislike JJ McCarthy. He's really athletic. That's one thing that is kind of a misconception about him. Like people compare him like Kirk Cousins and Mac Jones. JJ McCarthy is straight up fast when he's running with the ball. He doesn't do it as much as other guys, but he's an athletic quarterback. He can really throw on the move. He's good on off-platform throws, not afraid to throw over the middle. He's got good pocket presence, good footwork in the pocket. Just wasn't used as much as those other quarterbacks. So there's a real projection if you're taking JJ McCarthy with a top 3, top 4 pick, whatever it is. But there's a lot of traits to like about him as well. So I would be surprised if they spent a top 3 pick on JJ McCarthy. Wouldn't be a shock if they spent a top 10 pick on him.
He needs a chill with all the tequila shots. Elliott Wolf at the combine at Prime 47. He needs to chill with that. Go ahead, Gilbert.
Hey, Doug, the Washington hat, because JJ beat that team in the national title game. Any reason why you're rocking the Washington hat?
I grew up in Seattle,
Ah.
so I've been a UW fan for my entire life. So I know about Michael Penix and Romo Dunze, and I've got a mock draft dropping on Thursday that I've already written up. Maybe I'll make some changes to it, but I'm ready to be clowned on for having two UW guys in the mock draft for the Patriots.
Hey,
Ooh.
Doomsday and Penix are getting a lot of love in the last week for the draft here, so we'll see if it works out for them.
And then Bill Belichick the other day was wearing UW gear.
Oh,
'cause
that's
his
right,
coach
his
was
son,
there.
yeah.
His
Yeah.
son's defensive coordinator. Yeah, I think Steve Bell. I mean, as a UW fan, I'm hyped for the Steve Belichick era on defense. Like he did a great job with the Patriots, so it's gonna be fun to see what he can do there.
Yeah, gotta keep an eye on that mullet, man, or the facial expressions. I love that from him. But Doug,
He's a
let me take you
character.
back to free agency, and I was a little surprised that they kept the big three in-house guys on Winu, Uche, and Kyle Duggar. Like, I guess just from those signs they're keeping those guys, what does that tell you about what the Patriots want to do? Do they feel like, especially on defense, they have the pieces to make it work? Maybe it didn't work out last year because of injury. I think Christian Gonzalez, Matthew Judon, on Winu was just perfect because he's so versatile. So I'm glad they kept him for their sake. But what did that tell you from keeping those three guys?
Yeah, I think that they were happy with the way their defense played last year. Like the offense just kept putting them in disadvantageous situations, and they still finished, I think, top 10 in EPA per play. They were a really stout run defense, weren't quite as good as a pass defense, but a lot of that was, like you mentioned, injuries to Christian Gonzalez and Matthew Judon there, two of the best pass defense players on their roster. Christian Gonzalez is a coverage player, Matthew Judon pass rushing. So I think that the other message that they were sending was just that they want to draft and develop. That's going to be the plan here for the Patriots moving forward. And that's to pay the guys who deserve it. And that was, coming into this year, they kept Hunter Henry, they kept Mike Owenu, they kept Kyle Duggar, Josh Uche signed on in kind of a bargain deal, but kept Anthony Jennings. Like it really was, they wanted the guys that they knew were fits. They wanted to keep the guys that they knew would work, that they know well, rather than like if you're back in 2021 when the Patriots were signing a bunch of outside free agents, like there's just no guarantee that those guys are going to pan out. And about half of them didn't. At least if you're signing your own guys, you know that they're going to work out. There was some gripes in New England, especially among the fan base, of saying like, why are you just re-signing the guys that just led you to a 4-13 record? But like these guys that they're re-signing weren't the problem. They still have a ton of cap space to spend next year. Like I don't think that there was a bad signing that they made in free agency, and it was pretty risk averse so far. So I think that's going to be the plan to draft and develop, and that's certainly what they showed in free agency this offseason.
So I can't let you leave without asking you a couple questions.
I was wondering if you're going to ask about that.
Oh yeah, no, I have to. The report coming out that Robert Kraft kind of, are we going to call it tampering? I mean, he screwed, threw him under the bus. Seth Rollins him with a chair in the back, whatever we want to call it. What did you make of kind of the saga? I mean, we've heard all this, like Julian Edelman's like, it's a joke that Bill Belichick isn't coaching. Also, he was defending him and saying that he didn't like the way he was perceived in the dynasty. Just what have you kind of made of this saga? Because it seems like it's a saga that is going to continue. But what did you make of everything that happened with Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick?
I'd say that this offseason has been a little bit of a nightmare for Robert Kraft, just from a, I guess like public relations standpoint, like from moving on from the best head coach arguably in NFL history. And then some of the comments that were made afterwards of all these changes that they're going to make that are going to be better. Then the dynasty coming out, which, at the end has copyright like Kraft, whatever, because the Krafts were giving them so much footage and everything that they had to create this LLC for it. But it certainly created the perception that, the dynasty, the documentary was just Kraft saying what he wanted to. And, he said a lot of negative things about Bill Belichick in that documentary. And now, as you were referencing the report that came out from ESPN, Seth Wickersham, that, perhaps one of the reasons that Bill Belichick did not get a job with the Atlanta Falcons is that Robert Kraft didn't have the greatest things to say about him to Arthur Blank. The Patriots came out and said it wasn't true. So like we have to take that as well. Like Stacey James, the Patriots head of PR, put his name on that, said that Robert Kraft wasn't disparaging Bill Belichick. So the only people who truly know what Robert Kraft was saying are Robert Kraft and Arthur Blank, based on the comments that Robert Kraft made in the dynasty. I wouldn't be shocked if it was the truth. If that is what Robert Kraft was saying to Arthur Blank. At the same time, the Patriots said that it's not true. So it's tough to know exactly what happened there. But no, I mean, things ended poorly, and maybe it's a vocal minority. Maybe it's a majority of fans. Who knows? We'll find out when the games start. But there's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of negativity towards the Patriots and towards the ownership right now among Patriots fans. And it's really primarily because of the way that they handled Bill Belichick's departure.
Does Bill Belichick ever coach again?
It's so tough. Like
70. That's what I when you jumped on our show and to preview the game, I told you, I'm like, man, he's 1 year younger than Dean Spanos. Like that's up there. And for him to go into a new organization at next year, he's going to be 73 or going into 74. I mean, what's kind of your feeling on that?
I think it would almost have to be the Cowboys, in my opinion, because let's say the Cowboys don't win a Super Bowl this season, which I guess would be sort of the expectation or whatever, but say they're close. maybe you bring on Bill Belichick to close that gap, to get them over the hump, because it has to be a team like that. Like the Falcons were probably right to not hire Bill Belichick, just because it's going to take a little bit of a rebuild for the Falcons. And you just don't know how long Bill Belichick's going to want to coach. As part of that Seth Wickersham report, it said that he's probably only going to want to coach until he gets the all-time wins record over Don Shula. So with the Cowboys, who knows? That could happen in 1 year. They could potentially win a Super Bowl in 2025 with Bill Belichick. The other teams that were in that report, it said that you would be interested in coaching the Philadelphia Eagles or the New York Giants. The Giants, I'm just not sure if they're close enough. And once again, with the Eagles, maybe if things go south again this season with Nick Sirianni, they finish even worse than they did in 2023. Maybe you bring in Bill Belichick as that closer to win a Super Bowl while, the talent is still stacked on your roster and before you have to rebuild. But it really has to be a team like that that's so close, and you're just at your wit's end with their head coach.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning toward, wondering if he's going to come back, if he's not, what's kind of the future. Are you gonna? I mean, I know you're going to be working and doing your thing, but are you going to tune in at all for him on the Pat McAfee show on during his draft spectacular?
You almost have to. I was talking to Andrew Kelly, my beat partner, about especially after the Patriots make their pick. You have to be you have to listen to what Bill Belichick's going to say about that guy, because for us, we're that's going to be a note. That's going to be a post. Whatever Bill Belichick has to say about their decision, staying put or trading down, whichever player they take, or what he has to say about whatever quarterback it is, that's headline worthy stuff still in New England. So I probably won't be tuning in for, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of out on some of the draft shows, right? Some of the podcasts. So I probably would be more interested to hear what Bill Belichick has to say about the 15th player taken overall than some of the other draft shows. So honestly, I probably will watch a lot of it.
And he said he's still watching film regular. Yeah. He's still doing all that stuff. So Doug, can we ask you two more questions before we let you go?
Absolutely.
Just people are asking questions. Luis wanted to ask you, what would be the most shocking pick? I guess in general.
I guess I'll take this from a Patriots perspective. What the most shocking pick? The most shocking first round pick that they could make would be anything other than a quarterback, wide receiver, or tackle. If they're taking any sort of defensive player high up in the draft. If they're trying to find a guard, even a right tackle would be kind of shocking, just because Michael Wenu can play either guard or right tackle. The only left tackle they have on their roster right now was a guy who played right tackle for the Steelers last year, Chuka Okorafor. They don't have someone really in that position. So they specifically need X wide receivers, left tackles, and quarterbacks. I wouldn't be shocked if they go off the board in their second round pick, just because I heard that, that's kind of a weird spot where they might have to take the best player available, because if someone that they have a first round grade on drops out of the first round, maybe they scoop him up at number 34. But in the first round, anything other than a quarterback, wide receiver, or left tackle would be shocking for me.
Last one for us, and Doug, we appreciate you jumping on with us. What are your thoughts on Mike Vrabel, not a former Patriot, Mike Vrabel not coaching, and next year, do you feel like he will come in? What he's with he is like a consultant for I think Ohio State or something. No, for a team. I can't remember
it's the Browns. Is it the Browns that he's
Browns. There you
consulting
go.
with?
Yeah. I forgot about that. That's a random. But what are your thoughts on him not coaching? And do you feel like he will be a head coach next offseason?
I'm surprised by it. I mean, he was what I felt like was one of the best head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
It was a weird hiring cycle this year, having Bill Belichick not get hired, having Mike Vrabel not get hired, Pete Carroll still hanging out there. And then, guys like Dave Canales, like, I think he could do a great job this season, but like that seemed to kind of come out of nowhere. Raheem Morris came a little bit more out of nowhere to me, like guys that you might not have expected would be in that first, cycle of head coaches get hired. So I think Vrabel will be back soon. I think that he deserves a head coaching job next year. And he's a guy that has a lot fewer limitations than Bill Belichick has. I think that you could bring him onto almost any team and he would be a good fit there. So yeah, definitely surprised. But sometimes that just happens where guys get left out of the hiring cycle because there's only so many jobs and guys have their preferences and everything, but certainly deserves a job. Great guy. And I think he'll be back very soon.
I love that when they said he's intimidating. Well, yeah, he chokes on the shit out of you through a table. I bet you that's what he wanted to do to the Titans GM when he traded away AJ Brown. So, but Doug and Jorge said it completely. We love you, Doug. Doug, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. Make sure you guys go follow him at Doug Kyed. Awesome. He's a compa. I was telling Gilbert, we were in New York for the Garcia Haney, and I was telling him how we met and everything. And I'm like, yeah, thanks to Rob Gronkowski, we built an amazing friendship. And Doug, he lied to me. I asked him, do you ever get that itch to come back? And he said no. And then that offseason, he signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What a guy.
Brutal. I know, right? Well, I'm glad that we met back at the Super Bowl years ago. Fernando, Gilbert, you guys are great. Always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thank you, Doug. We'll catch up with you right around training camp. Thank you so much.
Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you. That was Doug Kyed. He's a compa. Awesome. We love that guy. He's awesome.
Smarter, Fernando. That was awesome. And dropping the knowledge, man.
This is awesome. Gilbert, I have a surprise for you at 4:45.
Oh, yeah. You got a guest to come in?
Oh, yes, I did. So don't worry about it.
Our hero, our other guest couldn't make it, unfortunately. So I guess we're going to have somebody step in. Wow.
Yes, we have a great guest in place. I will not give out anything, but Gilbert, just real quick.
Yeah.
Everybody had good questions, but obviously Doug had limited time. So let's go real quick. Mimsy was asking Gilbert, who is someone you think that makes sense for the Chargers that we're not talking about? Gilbert, you wrote about it, or you have written about it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Are you talking about Brock Bowers?
Ooh.
Okay. I feel like people were just, move like Brock Bowers bandwagon or the train. The hype was, let's get going, Brock Bowers. And then people are like, oh, he plays tight end. Don't pick up a number 5. And everybody got annoyed. And I'm like, why? The guy plays multiple positions. Like, you view him as a tight end. I view him as a wide receiver who could block or play in the backfield, do more than. I get it. Tight ends you don't take him with the number 5 pick, but the Chargers have so many holes in the roster. What if maybe McCarthy is there at number 5 and the Vikings are saying Patriots didn't take our offer, the Cardinals didn't take the offer. Please make a deal with us, Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. And Jim Harbaugh was like, you know what, you screwed me over a couple of years ago, so give me 3 first-round picks. You would not make that deal? Go ahead and do it. Move to 11, get the picks, get Brock Bowers, get the number 23 pick, and draft a lineman or corner or whatever. I don't get it, but I get this part. Nduzie, dude, watch the Tyler Dragon interview from yesterday. The way he was hopping out Rome Odunze as a Larry Fitzgerald comparison, I'm like, oh man, can you pass on that guy or not? Or even Malik Neighbors, Jamar Chase, can you pass on that guy too? So I get the dilemma. But to get maybe, and Tyler said this too. He said, what if you get 3 first-round picks? I will do that in a heartbeat. I don't know what you think, Fernando, but I will definitely take Brock Bowers, who's versatile. Maybe get a tackle or defense with a number 23 pick. But I just don't get why people don't like that narrative anymore.
Yeah, no, I think people think about Kyle Pitts, and everybody's kind of like, oh, Kyle Pitts, like he didn't work out. Well, Arthur Smith wasn't the best, I guess, coach when it came to what Kyle Pitts did. So I completely understand this guy can do a lot. And I know I can't remember who we talked to. Was it? Oh, it was yesterday. It was Tyler Dragon who said they signed 2 tight ends already, and it's like, well, no, I still think that they have some work to do with the tight end position. But I completely agree with you. Romo Dunze.
Yeah,
He could be the guy that they go.
Are you coming around on Rome then?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm still not. I still think it's Marvin Harrison Jr., Gap, Malik Neighbors, Gap, Roma Odunze. But I saw
don't know.
today.
I don't. Oh, well, go ahead.
No, I just saw that. Did you see that tweet that he was
With Caleb Williams?
Yeah, Caleb Williams, like, oh, he's on my plane. He's like, dude, I'm flying the plane or something like that. Like, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, with everything that we've seen lately with planes, I'm like, I wouldn't be joking around like that because Delta or whoever they're on could get in trouble.
Well, I went on a Boeing flight, by the way.
Commercial. You'd think they'd fly private, but they're flying commercial.
They're still college kids, but I guess NIL kids.
So
oh,
NIL.
I don't know.
Yeah, Caleb Williams can fly.
That actually
private.
did change it. Well, they're probably first class, but I did take a Boeing flight to New York, and I was a little worried about that.
No, I just fall asleep. But oh wow, guys, people are excited. Surprise! Mimsy, I have some bad news. I don't know if Dan and Dago will be able to join us.
Oh, he just gave us false hope or what?
Today. No, well, I don't know if Dan's gonna be able to jump on today. He honestly, folks, he's really busy with what he's doing right now, and he's loving it. So I just don't know if he's gonna.
So your 4:45 guess is not Dan and Dago.
It is not Dan and Dago.
Ah,
yeah.
Huh, now I'm really interested in.
Yeah, it's not Dan and Dago, but but yeah, no, Dan's really busy right now. So we're gonna try and do stuff with him, but he's gonna be busy for a while. So Jorge went full Darth Vader on us. No, we're gonna try. We're gonna see, but the 4:45 guess is not Dan and Dago. I think Gilbert's texting people that we know in common, and he's like, "Hey, did Fernando ask you to jump on?" But
I'm curious.
Well, yeah, but so this question was for Doug. Moy, we're sorry. But are the Chargers in danger of getting up to 2 good players in the draft or mid to bad players instead of getting a for sure fired? Okay, yeah. I don't understand what that means. Sorry.
One more time. Are the Chargers in danger of getting up to 2 good players later in the draft or mid to bad players instead of getting surefire dogs? More, I'm guessing like if they trade down, right? Like will that be kind of the?
Is that what he's talking about, or is he talking about like later? Like, you know how in the past, like Tom Telesco's drafts haven't been great later rounds. Is that what he's?
I don't know, but Moy, if you're still watching, Moy, help us clarify a little bit, and we'll definitely try to answer your question.
Maybe he is talking about in the first round.
Yeah, maybe. But man,
Chris Rim from ESPN, he jumped on their mock draft, and he said that he had them drafting Latham. He made the trade with.
Oh, really? The ESPN NFL Nation.
Yeah. Dude, remember when they used to have to fly all of them out there, and like all of them would be there just to jump on?
So it was remote.
Yeah. So so basically he had Latham, and then he had Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't think
I
that
feel
was
like that draft would be kind of underwhelming for the public. It's like
I know,
Latham.
Dude, people were.
It was like Joe Alt. Yeah,
people were in the comments and they weren't too happy with him. But I'm like, dude, come on, like, what do you? Oh, okay. So GS, thank you, and Mark Madlock. They're saying that if missing out by trading down. So he's talking about trading away from a blue chip to get 2 decent ones. Okay, thank you guys so much for helping us understand. But what do you think?
He's talking about trading away from a blue chip. Yeah, again, like if the compensation for the trade package is like you might be able to get a blue chip next year in 2025. Look what happened with the Bears and the Panthers. They traded their pick and they got the number 1 pick again. So you just never know. I like to take that gamble, especially for a roster you see with so many holes. And honestly, I'm gonna stick up for the Chargers receivers, Fernando. I like Palmer, and I want to give Quentin Johnson a little more time. So we just add 1 really good wide receiver. That's not a bad group to develop. They're going to be young. You're going to have to learn with Justin Herbert. but you add a Dunzier or Malik Neighbors with that group, I'm okay with that. But I guess if you trade down, hey, how about my boy Brock Bowers with that group? And like with Brock Bowers, the more you do, the better. I get that. But keep adding more pieces. The defense is not set, Fernando. We just keep focusing on offense. I get it. Justin Herbert needs the weapons. You need the offensive line. But hey, you could somehow come away with a Joe Alt. I think the Titans might take him on number 7. There's a lot of good tackles. Fuaga from Oregon State. Again, you solve your problem with Rashawn Slater at left tackle. You put Fuaga at right tackle. Boom, you're tough in the trenches now. So I don't mind the whole trading back thing. But I don't know how you feel for it. I think you're stuck on number 5. I got no problem with that. But trading back is not an issue for me either.
Trading back isn't an issue for me because how are you guaranteed that Malik Neighbors is going to be like the guy? Like, I understand he's looked great in college, but you just never know with any of these picks.
Yeah.
As well as you don't know with the picks that they would be selecting 11th and 23rd if they traded back, or 7th. I saw a scenario today where they jump back to 6 and the Giants come up and get JJ McCarthy and the Chargers get an extra 3rd round draft pick this year. I'm like, oh, that's not bad actually. But I mean, that's the thing. The draft is a gamble, guys, and there's no such thing as a for sure thing. If we're being honest, I mean, there's no for sure thing. I mean, a couple of years, and I know we've had him on the show before, but like Ryan Leaf was a sure thing back in the day. And look, I'm being honest,
way back.
Jamarcus Russell was. A lot of people thought he was a sure thing, falling asleep in meetings, doing this, doing that. Okay, he doesn't end up making it. Heck, and I'm going to be honest, look at Andrew Luck. Everybody thought, wow, the Colts have their quarterback for the next 20 years. He was only there for, 8 years? And then he retired. So you just never know. So I guess that's kind of my, they said, oh, yeah, Braylon Edwards was a generational talent. Yeah. So, I mean, you just never know. Well, Jorge, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, yes, as of right now, but there's that Gilbert, by the way, that's the funniest thing in the world. Like when people crap on Trevor Lawrence, when people try and save Trevor Lawrence, like, well, he had that comeback win on the Chargers, and then you have people on Twitter that were like, that's Brandon Staley's defense. Who cares? Like anybody could do that. So
no credit, apparently.
Exactly. So Dennis, yes, Joe Alt is that guy. Like I was in there. I mean, I was only in there for 6 months, but I remember talking to some family members. I remember talking to some coaches. I remember because I did a story on him. I did a lot of stuff around him, and that's what they told me. They told me that this kid was a generational talent. I can't remember his name right now, but the offensive line coach of Notre Dame a couple of years ago. Oh my God.
The one that came or had a connection with the Chargers? I forget.
No, this was in like 2021 offensive line. Yeah. He had a connection because I think his son was like an intern for the Chargers for a while, but his name was Harry Heinstein. No.
Yeah. It's something.
Yeah. So I remember Brandon Staley pulled me off to the side and he's like, you need to listen to who this guy is. I was like, oh, really? He's like, this guy is a great offensive line coach. He's like, when we were with the Bears, they used to fly him. Like he used to fly private to go watch his son play at Notre Dame. I can't remember what the story was. I remember Brandon Staley told me about it, but I remember Harry Heinstand told me, he's like, this kid is a generational talent. And that guy was a Bears offensive line coach for years. He was with Notre Dame before that. Like this guy is like, he's generational.
Didn't Joe Alt start as a guard and took him out?
And they moved him out. Yeah.
But he's still learning the position. He's playing that well. So
well, and I mean, the thing is, there are going to be questions about him and stuff. So
he looks like a mauler though. He looks like a big dude.
And Gilbert, our guest extraordinaire, is here. I am excited to have him on the show.
We need a banner, Vic, if you're ready.
No, I have.
Oh, you got one?
I have one ready. Don't you worry.
I want to do a proper introduction.
Eric Williams of Fox Sports joins us. Thank you so much, Eric, for jumping on with us. Short notice. How are you, Eric?
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Not a whole lot. living the dream.
Hey, you're chill right now, Eric, but I'm happy and excited and shocked because I didn't know you're gonna jump on the show. So for now, I say, hey, we got a surprise guest. I'm like, oh, who could it be? Don't tell me your brother Dan and Dago. I don't want to hear Dan right now. He's too loud. I don't care what time of day it is. It's too loud. But when I saw your face, Eric, I'm excited. Thank you for being on.
You're welcome. You know me, Gil. I'm like smooth R&B. I'm just kind of
yeah. I love
Eric's
it.
all about that Drake.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that Drake. On that Sade, man.
Eric, obviously the draft is coming up. One of real quick. This guy's an OG. He brings the heat. There you go, Eric. You bring the heat.
We'll see. I got one more arm up.
It depends what day it is, Eric, for the heat.
I need some icy hot.
Eric, the draft is this Thursday. Just what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously everybody expects Caleb Williams to go 1. Yeah. After that, what are your thoughts about what happens next in the draft?
Yeah, I think, for me, the interesting thing is the receivers. We haven't had a group like this, for a long time. You look at 3 of the top 10 prospects. When you rate them, you look at, the draft analysts and how they're rating them, are in the top 10. You obviously start with Marvin Harrison, who has that legacy. His dad is a Hall of Famer. But then a lot of people have really been talking about Malik Neighbors and his explosiveness and his speed. And then Rome Odunze is probably the safest out of the 3 because you just kind of know what you're going to get. The production is there. He has a high IQ, big, strong guy. He can play outside, play inside. So I think not only those top 3, but there's a number of receivers that could end up in the first round, and they could set a mark historically. I think it's 7 was the most that's went in the modern draft era. We could see 8 go in the first round because there's so much talent there, and passing league, all that. Teams are looking for playmakers. So that to me stands out. Offensive tackle class stands out. There's probably going to be 5 or 6 that go in the first round. Probably not going to see a running back go in the first round or a safety when you look at, 2 running backs going in the first round last year in Bijan Robinson and Jamar Gibbs. And then, where are the quarterbacks going to land? Obviously, we have to talk about quarterbacks. We think they're going to be in the top 3 picks, and maybe J.J. McCarthy sneaks in there at number 4 with the potential for 6 quarterbacks to go in the first round. But to me, I think Penix and Nix are kind of being pushed up a little bit. I don't think they're going to go in the first round. I think those are going to be second-round picks. With Penix, I think it's obviously the injury piece, 2 ACLs, shoulder. I think that sounds more like a second-round pick. And I think with Bo Nix, it's just does it make sense? Is he first-round worthy, or is it going to be like Will Levis where he falls into the second round, or has been ranked as a second-round pick? And just with all the scuttlebutt and all the talk in the last week, guys are pushed up.
Does he drink mayonnaise with his coffee?
That's nasty.
That's what Will Levis does. So
that's why he fell in the second round.
I know why you're throwing that out there. And Fernando, I expect that out of you. Yeah. Eric, hopefully he does not drink mayonnaise in his coffee.
Nobody, please don't do that anymore. But Eric, because you keep an eye on the West Coast teams very, very closely, and you mentioned Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. Like, I guess if you're the Raiders and the Broncos, if you try not to get desperate or reach, like, what do you do? Like, for a quarterback, do you kind of just wait for the board to fall your way? What do you do with the first round picks?
I think you have to. I think you have to get playmakers if you're going to select a guy in the first round. And I think you saw it with the moves that they've made. The Raiders signed Minshew. The Broncos made a trade for Zach Wilson. So that's kind of telling you that maybe they're not as high on these guys that are coming up in the draft, and are kind of protecting themselves a little bit to make sure that if they don't get the guy that they want, they already have somebody, already on their roster. The Seahawks went and made the trade for Sam Howell, and that kind of lets you know that, hey, maybe we're not as high on a quarterback, and we kind of already got our young developmental project.
We told the moms in Denver, or kids to hide their moms in Denver because Zach Wilson's on his way over there.
Yeah. Cougar alert.
Exactly. Everybody be careful.
I think Fernando's the one that's on the heater or on fire. He was talking about.
Uh-oh.
Miles City MILF Hunter is what I call him. Mile High City MILF Hunter. There you go. That's what he's gonna be out there.
You know, I'm not touching that, Fernando.
No. Keep it moving, Fernando.
Eric, you cover both the Chargers and the Rams as well as the NFC and the AFC West.
Mhm.
When you look at the Chargers, obviously a lot depends on what happens with Arizona.
Yeah.
Do you feel like first with that, do you feel like Arizona stays? And if they don't trade out, what do you think happens? Do you think they trade out or not?
Yeah. Arizona has 11 picks, so they need to like get premium players, and the best way to do that is to get them high in the draft. So they did that last year, which is understandable because they're trying to get as many picks as possible. But with 11 picks already, I think they need to stay and just get good, solid players to add to their core. Kyler Murray needs somebody to throw the ball to. So to me, it's a no-brainer. You take Marvin Harrison Jr., you throw him in the lineup, and you go play football. And you know, I think it makes sense for the Chargers if that's what happens, and the Cardinals just take a receiver that they want to move down because they need more picks. You know, they're starting that rebuilding process with Harbaugh and Joe Horitz as their GM, and so they need more bites at the apple. And if there's a team that's willing to come up and they could kind of drum up enough, you know, interest to get a couple picks and move down and still get an offensive lineman, which I think is their top need, I think it makes a lot of sense. With the depth at receiver, I know a lot of Chargers fans are screaming Marvin Harrison or Neighbors, get a playmaker. We just lost Keenan Allen. Where did you draft Keenan Allen? In the third round.
Yeah.
You know, you got a number one receiver in the third round, and guys like Malcolm Floyd have not been high picks for this franchise in years past. So you can get a good receiver that could come in and be productive in the later rounds. You need to get that offensive line shored up so that Justin Herbert is protected. You can run the football. And then you can find, again, a lot of depth in this class. You know, Puka Nacua was a 5th round pick for the Rams. So I think they just have to be patient and do a great job in terms of the Chargers, scouting the board and find a receiver that can help them. And then you also have to develop Q. You know, Q obviously didn't play up to his potential last year, but he's still young. A lot of people aren't talking about it, but Sanjay Lal is a legit receiver coach in this league. And the Seahawks really worked hard to bring him back because he had such a good relationship with DK Metcalf. And so I think he's a guy that can maybe come in and develop that young receiver.
What happens in Hermosa Beach?
That's Thursday, right? That's
Yeah.
where the Rams are going to be.
Yeah.
You saw that tweeted out the draft
I
house.
did.
Yeah,
I was expecting Sean McVay to be without a shirt on and just chilling there and taking the sun in. Or
well, I thought maybe you're going to bring your thong bathing suit and you're going to come out there.
There he is.
Hey, you really want to see this in a Speedo, especially now. Maybe a couple months ago you wouldn't have, but now
I love the confidence.
It's
you
getting
slim and trim, Fernando.
But what do you think? Because they haven't had a first round draft pick since 2016 when they selected Jared Goff, and I mean, you can say that it was a good pick or not. It goes either way, but but just what are your thoughts about what the Rams do there?
Well, obviously no Aaron Donald, so you think they're maybe looking at defensive tackle to come in. You're not going to replace Aaron Donald, but you need to have numbers in there to figure out what kind of scheme you want to run. So that makes sense. Or an edge rusher, you know, layout 2, lot 2 maybe makes sense at 19. I think they're going to move up though. You know, they have 11 picks, and I think they feel like they're at a point where they can compete with San Francisco if they add the right pieces. So to me, I think if Cooper DeJean is there and you have to move up a couple spots to get him, they need help in the secondary. And I think he makes sense for them because of his versatility. He can play that star position that Jalen Ramsey played. So he can play inside. He can play on the perimeter. He can play safety. You know, they had another versatile guy that helped them win a Super Bowl a couple years ago in Eric Weddle. That was a smart, high IQ guy that had some playmaking ability, could take the ball away. And then he's also a guy that can return kicks and punts as well. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they see him sitting up there in the teens and they move up and get him.
I like that, Eric. Yeah, I was gonna say a white cornerback. You know, you gotta make history, and that for a first round there. But I like it because Eric, you know, people get so caught up on the free agency moves, like, oh, they got Tre'Davious White, Darius Williams, they got a safety in Cam Curl. They're okay in the second there. I'm like, you gotta get younger in this league.
Yeah,
they get hurt pretty often. So I do like that pick from them. But let me ask you a question about the GMs, Eric, especially in the AFC West. Which GM has the most at stake or the most pressure to actually deliver something good for this April?
How about the dude in Denver?
Is
I
it
mean-
Sean Payton or George Payton
Peyton, however you want to say his name. I mean,
or Patton? There you go.
Patton, yeah, Patton and
Ru-
Peyton.
Your
Patton
boy
Payton.
Russell, Fernando's boy Russell Wilson was a
That's
dumpster
your
fire.
boy.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Yeah.
He's
What's the
riding
new
out to Pittsburgh.
What's the new one?
I
Steel
don't know
City.
if the new one. Steel City, is that what he's saying?
I don't know.
Did you see that video of him working out inside the gym with sunglasses on?
Yeah, well, Corey Hart wears his sunglasses at night. But I do think there's some pressure on him because it didn't work out with the quarterback, it didn't work out with the head coach, and now you bring in Sean Payton, who's probably got all the juice there. So at some point, if things don't go well, I would think he's the next person on his way out. So they need to hit in this draft.
Just Eric, what's one of your? Give us a spin. Something wacky that happens in this draft.
Something wacky that happens. Wow.
Or maybe a player that we're not like, we're like, oh wow, a surprise or something.
Yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Black and gold, ready, go.
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously players are going to move up and down. There is going to be a player that falls that we don't expect. And there's going to be a player that's drafted high that maybe we're not figuring that to be drafted high. I do have a sense that the defensive tackle out of Texas, Murphy, is going to go higher than maybe people expect. And I say that because there's not that many highly rated defensive tackles out there, and those guys have such a big impact on the game. So maybe that guy is a guy that goes, in the singles, goes 7 or 8 versus going in the teens. Maybe he's a person that rises. And then like I talked about, I think Cooper DeJean is going to go higher than people expect. And a lot of people think he's going to go in the 20s. I think he's going to go in the teens. Are
you going to be in Hermosa Beach or Costa Mesa?
I'm going to be in Hermosa Beach on Thursday, and then I'm going to try to make it to Costa Mesa on Friday. Are you going to be in Costa Mesa?
Yeah, let's do Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there Friday.
You're carpooling?
Yeah, most likely. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Last one for me. Just are you kind of, I mean, in a sense, kind of excited to see the Jim Harbaugh draft after so many years of him not being there?
I'm excited to see Jim himself. What kind of khakis are we going with? Is there?
He has a tattoo.
He's tatted up. So is he going to be showing it off? Is he going to have his shirt rolled up like Grease, or is he going to wear a tank top? What's the attire going to be that Jim rolls out with? Because it's going to have charges on it, because that's how he rolls. He wears team issued stuff because he's saving the loot. He's about that life of wearing the team issued material. And then push-ups. How many push-ups is he going to do? When we see him.
I can't wait to see the phone call between him and whatever player they draft, and he just gets all excited and, man, I'm so excited to get you in here. And I think that's gonna be
that's must-see TV.
Eric, last one for me or for us. Thank you so much for jumping on short notice. What round do you think the first running back gets drafted, and who do you think it is?
I'm gonna say 3rd round.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks out of Texas has the ACL knee injury, so I have him sliding a little bit. Perhaps he goes in the 2nd. I think it could go day 2, but I have him going in the 3rd.
No Blake Corum to the Chargers at any point?
Maybe in the 3rd or 4th round. I'm just
who I like for
this year's running back class.
Audric Estime is a guy that I think he would benefit from a Jim Harbaugh style of system, but yeah, I definitely, we'll see what happens. But Eric, thank you so much for jumping on with us. I'm sorry that Daniel's not here, because I know you that's your guy. So
that's the reason I came on at such short notice. I thought Daniel was going to be here and we were going to have a conversation.
He's still coaching at a location that he does not let us disclose, but he said he's been working late lately, but I'm telling you, Eric, we'll get you on with Daniel for sure.
Okay, maybe I'll see him on Friday.
No, I think he'll be at work. So yeah, no, that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Busy man.
Hey, one day I told him, I'm like, it'd be cool to get you and Jim Harbaugh on a podcast, just you two. Let the mics fly, and let's see what we get from that magic right there.
Yeah, that would be interesting for sure.
Eric, much love.
Gil, am
Thank
I
you
going to
so
see you on
much.
Friday?
No, I'll be staying at home from the comfort of my home.
He wants to watch on Thursday. He wants to watch Bill Belichick on
Yeah,
Pat
that's why.
McAfee
Yeah,
show. That's why he's staying.
show off the rings, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you, Eric, so much.
you, Eric.
That's Eric D. Williams. You guys know him. You guys love him. We love him as well. Make sure you guys check out everything he does. Thank you, Eric.
Appreciate you guys.
That was Eric Williams. We
That's
love
a good
him.
surprise, Fernando. Good
Hey,
surprise.
I told you I had something for you, but
We just text him on the spot. He's like, "Yeah, I'm down."
Yeah. So when you
Wow.
texted me, hey Sam, the no-go, I'm like, you know what? I'll get somebody on here. And so I texted him and he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. He's like, I'm just laying around doing nothing, so let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. So you got booed for not going to Costa Mesa to see Eric. Just letting you know. Eric is a compa. We love him. He's awesome. So
Whole day about that, not going.
hey, you guys are getting a lot of top-notch action these last 2 days because, and by the way, I saw this. I needed to come back to this. Fernando has a thong bathing suit. Not surprised. Yeah, thanks for that one. Eric, I don't know what
He's
Eric's
ready.
talking about.
Ready for the summer 2024. You're ready, huh, Fernando?
2025, summer 2025.
No, you're not. There's not this year.
No.
I think you're ready. I think you're ready.
You'll have a ways to go, but all right. Gilbert, let's move on. And again, let us bring in Vic, the producer. Vic, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Here,
doing?
let me change this for us here.
Oh, okay.
There we go. And then we'll have one of you. Who wants to go first here?
Yeah, put him.
Yeah, there we go. All right,
Get a
guys.
haircut
He does
today,
not
so-
like it though. He does not like it.
No.
Oh shoot, my bad. Hold on, real quick. I completely forgot because I was moving things around. Oh, wow.
In a while. But it's good to be here, guys. And since we're talking about NFL draft, I kind of wanted to ask, instead of doing like our regular rapid fire, I kind of wanted to ask you guys some questions here and kind of just get your thoughts of what might happen during the draft here. So
All right.
oh, and I kind of going off of what Eric was talking about. I wanted to ask you guys because I want to put it here on the record. How many, and I'll start off with you, Gilbert, and then I'll go to Fernando. How many former Michigan players get drafted by the Chargers on this weekend?
Fernando, real quick, a question. How many TCU guys went last year to them? Was it like 2 or 3?
How many what?
TCU guys.
2. It was a quarterback and the receiver.
Three.
Three, the returner,
All right.
Darius Davis.
You know what? I'll match it. 3 for Michigan for Jim Harbaugh's
Okay, so
draft class. I'll go with that.
Gilbert.
I'll go one.
One.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
Gilbert 3.
I'll
I'm
go
writing
one.
this down because I have a surprise for you guys.
I'm going based off of what I remember from Pete Carroll. I know that's not a good, but I remember even he didn't draft anybody when he went to Stanford the first time. From Stanford to the 49ers, he really didn't do that either. So
But he won the national championship. He has good players on there for Jim.
Oh, I
Harbaugh.
know he does, but what if he thinks, okay, this is exactly where they're at. Let me go now and do this. So I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, no, and one of the things I saw, the reason I brought it up is because there was a lot of reports coming out that there was the Chargers liked a lot of the Michigan guys, and rightfully so. I mean, there's a lot of good linemen and defensive linemen. This was a really good defense that Michigan had. So next, so one of the things,
one that nobody's talking about is Roman Wilson. Are you guys
Yeah.
really going with this whole beach crap? Like, what is the matter with you guys? Like, everybody's really going with this.
All right. They're gonna host a draft party at a nude beach in San Diego.
Next year. But I just the one that nobody's talking about is Roman Wilson, and I feel like him or Jenkins, the D tackle, one of those two, I think, is going to end up being the guy that these guys take. Or, well, my bad. Okay, another one, the slot corner also.
See, there you go.
There's 3 then, or doing 3?
Either one of those 3. I think
Okay,
it's
one.
I have
It'd be
you
one.
as 1. Are you?
yeah,
changing
one.
your-
But I'd be surprised if Blake Corum is the guy. I think they're going to try and go somewhere else.
Okay. All right. So I have you. All right, guys. So in preparation of this, since I've joined Compas on the beat, one of the things I like to do right before the draft is watch Draft Day. It's not a great movie, we
Oh,
know that,
I
right?
watch it too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so last year I asked you guys this. So in
Can't
honor
wait
of
to
Draft
love it.
Day, what player in this draft is your Bonte Mac no matter what? So the player you're leaving the draft, it doesn't matter. Like, this is your call. The player you're leaving without a doubt in this draft. Yes, you're starting off,
Marvin
Fernando.
Harrison Jr.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's pretty
Can
good.
you can you tell me why that
Yeah,
is?
no, I think you need a generational talent at receiver, and I think that's Marvin Harrison Jr., whether it's Arizona, whether it's the Chargers, or whether some other team jumps up. By the way, the mock drafts that have the Chargers at 5 sitting there and then pulling back and letting the Jets come up or somebody, I don't think that would happen at all. I think the Chargers would, if he's there, they're taking him no matter what. But I really think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is something special. Like I mentioned before, Michigan would beat Ohio State, and Marvin Harrison Jr. was still putting up numbers against them. On top of that, this year they didn't have a great quarterback, and he still put up big numbers. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is that guy that I would not let leave. I would draft him no matter. Heck, I think the first 4 teams are dumb for not taking him, but obviously they all need quarterbacks. But still,
See, I gotta criticize for now because isn't Vontae Mack the guy that you had to push for when people didn't believe in the guy? Everybody believes in Marvin
Wow,
Harrison.
look
Jr.
at Gilbert with
Come on.
Gilbert
movie
really
knowledge.
pulled one over me. Yeah, you're
come
right.
on. Come on.
No,
Bo
you're right.
Callahan's the guy that's overrated, all right? But this one, you need to pound the table for. Okay, let me give you mine, and then give me a real one after that, Fernando. And
Gonna go
mine's
Cooper G.
maybe it's not the best. Cooper or Deshaun.
No, Cooper G.
Cooper G.
Yeah.
You gotta get the white guy. Anyway, so if somebody's watching, they're gonna get mad at me. But you know what? He's a high prospect, but I don't get why he's being rated number 3 quarterback. And every year I got my quarterback, my guy, the big, strong arm, athletic guy, smart guy. Last year, Anthony Richardson. This year is
Yeah,
Drake,
you did.
Drake
I was
Maye.
going to tell you. Do you remember who you went with, Fernando, last year?
Oh shoot. No, do you have
Okay,
it?
I'll tell you. Go ahead, Gilbert. I have it.
All right, for me, it's gonna be Drake Maye, and people are saying, "Oh, he's inaccurate, and maybe doesn't not as athletic as the other guy, bad footwork." But I'm like, this guy's like 6'4", rocket arm. He has the intangibles, the skill set. Like we think about Justin Herbert. Remember, Fernando, all the lead up to the draft, Herbert's the number 3 quarterback in the draft, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, he missed a couple of throws, but he has the rocket arm and the skill set. Same thing with Josh Allen. Yeah, he went to Wyoming. Well, if you have a good coaching staff, go groom the player, develop them. Make them wait for a year, whatever it takes. But you bet on the upside. You bet on the skill set. And I'm going to go with Drake Maye right here. I like Jaden Daniels. I get it. But smaller frame, more about more of a balanced attack with running and throwing. I want the pure pocket passer. I'm going to bet on Drake Maye. And I don't get this hate for him for me. And it's not totally hate, but it's like, oh, yeah, he missed a couple of throws. He's number 3 for sure. I'm like, he's not on the level of JJ McCarthy. McCarthy's the one like, you know what? I'll stay away from that. Drake Maye is my guy for number 2 quarterback behind Caleb Williams.
All right, Fernando. Do you want me to tell you who you went with last year first?
Yeah, I want to know.
You went with Peter Skoronski, who was moved to guard by the Titans.
They like him.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
boring, but yeah.
Well, I mean, they're building their offensive line. If
Yeah,
they take Joe Alt this year,
Yeah,
that's
they
a
have
pretty
the
good-
left side. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. All right. This guy, I think, has gotten hate because he used to be they're saying that he's a top 5 player, but because of his position, they keep on moving him around, and he's kind of gone lower. They have him going as low as 20. I'm going to go with Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers is going to be the guy that I like. I think he's a guy that really can do everything that you need from a tight end. He can catch, he can block, he can do all these things. And then, oh, hey, guess what? He kind of looks like a slot receiver sometimes when he moves as well. So I think he's going to be one of those players. If he really does go to the New York Jets, even though I'm going to be honest, the New York Jets, you guys need offensive line. I think you cannot. You're risking everything on a 40-year-old quarterback who's coming off an Achilles, 2 tackles that don't make it past they don't play more than 12 games, and then obviously Mike Williams is coming off the torn ACL. So I think they should look at offensive line, but I still think that Brock Bowers in any system is going to help. And with the right coaching, I think Brock Bowers is going to be that guy that I would not pass up if I was a team. I certainly wouldn't let him go.
Yeah, I think it's just hard just because people are starting to see where the tight end position being drafted. Is it a position of need? Do you really need to draft one in the top 10? I think that's the biggest thing. But
I just hate when people go, well, these are examples of tight ends that well, you never know. This could be
yeah,
the guy that kind of
it has
changes
to be a
everything for
fit.
them. Exactly.
you.
And I mean, some teams need a tight end. Again, I know that the Chargers have signed 2, but I mean, can you really count on Donald Parham if we're being completely honest? No, you can't. Like, he's been hurt. He had numerous drops last year where you're kind of like, dude, what is going on? So, and I know Will Disley and the other guy that they signed,
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst, thank you. Yes, Hayden Hurst has had concussion issues. Will Disley's a blocking tight end, but you don't have that receiving tight end that you kind of need to change the game. So, by the way, R.I.P. to Darren Waller and Kelsey Plum's relationship. That was
I
quick.
can't believe he
All
fumbled that bag.
All
Sorry.
I'm telling you, I'm sliding them DMs. By the way, she posted like a thing, like you know when you change your job or you're like, hey, I'm joining whatever.
I'm free agent now, huh?
Yeah, she basically announced that she's a free agent.
Slide in.
And I know a lot of
There you go,
players
Fernando.
out there like, all right, but yeah, no, I all that commotion that Darren Waller wedding caused, and now it's over.
Yep.
But yeah, my bad. So yeah, Brock Bowers is my guy.
All right, continuing on with the draft day movie here. Is there a Bo Callahan in this draft class that teammates wouldn't show up for his birthday party? Do you guys want me to give you what you guys chose last year, or do you want me to tell you after you give the answer?
I want to hear it.
All right. Fernando went with Will Levis last year, the mayonnaise guy.
It's been good.
And Gilbert went with the guy who we haven't heard from, and that's Hendon Hooker.
There we go. So that means I got that right? Because it was supposed to be the okay, cool.
Yeah,
you're talking about the quarterback. I can already tell you who mine is.
Oh, does it have to be a quarterback for this pick?
No. Hendon Hooker's a quarterback, right?
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be a quarterback. Just somebody like a prospect that teammates wouldn't show up to. Is pretty much he's not gonna work out. He's gonna be a cancer kind of.
All right, Gilbert. Gilbert, choose mine. I think you know who I'm gonna go with.
Here, let's start off with Fernando.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, the wide receiver from Washington. Go ahead.
No.
Really?
No. Caleb Williams.
Oh, okay.
I think Caleb Williams is the Bo Callahan.
Wow. Okay, people won't go to his party. I believe that part. Yeah.
There's a point. Jalen Johnson said, "You better not come in here with that Hollywood stuff." What does that mean? That means that people have already been talking. People have asked questions. Yeah, I think he's the guy. I'm going to go with Caleb Williams on that one.
All right, Gilbert, you're up.
Oh man, this is tough. I want to say JJ McCarthy is getting a lot of love. I don't think he's going to be he's not worth a top 5, top 10 pick, but I was impressed with the Alabama game. I told Fernando, that gives me some upside for him. He had a comeback, a playoff victory right there. You know what? I will go. I'm gonna stick the quarterback. Give me Bo Nix, and I think hearing Eric Williams talk confirmed that for me. It's going to be a reach pick, especially if the Broncos take him at number 12. You know, I'm up and down about the 6-year quarterback. Like obviously we see Brock Purdy. He's a president for the
around teams.
Yeah, so that stuff kind of concerns me. Like Brock Purdy is a president for the 5th-year guys. Okay, you can make it work, but like there's no high ceiling, there's no upside, and you won't have a Brock Purdy situation when you come into a star-studded cast with a good coaching staff. So if Bo Nix goes to the Broncos, it might not do well. He might be, a backup quarterback for a long time, but I just don't see first-round potential. I don't see franchise quarterback. I'm not saying I'm a college football expert, but going from Auburn to Oregon, I think I saw a video where I think Justin Herbert and Bo Nix played in college. That tells you how long he's been in college. So
they're almost around the same age too.
So those are red flags for me, and someone's going to reach for him, and it might suck for the guy because he needs to be in a better system. And if it's the Broncos, and who are you going to throw to? Fades to Cortland Sutton, who they might even trade because they don't have any assets besides him and Patrick Surtain II. So Bo Nix, I hate to do it to the guy, but he's going to be my Bo Callahan. I don't know if he's a good person or not, so about the party stuff, but in terms of being maybe a potential reach pick, I would go with him.
Moy wants Justin Herbert with Kelsey Plum.
They can have their dog.
Oh,
What does she
man.
have? Their dogs.
I don't know if he could handle all that though.
Yeah.
So
Oh, why? Because you want to be the one to try?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'll tell you what though, those kids would be generational talents right
Oh,
there
yeah.
if they had kids.
Yeah.
But Jesse said Caleb Williams 100%. By the way,
Yeah.
go ahead, Vic.
No,
cool.
I can go on to the next question.
Okay, just real quick. Let me get this out
Yep.
because we have talked about it. Albert Breer of the MMQB on Arizona with the number 4 pick. I would start with Arizona at number 4. They've had 4 teams interested in that pick, and I know that general manager Monty Austinfort has told those teams, I am not trading the pick until I'm on the clock.
Wow.
Yep. That
Better
makes
wait.
sense.
Make them
Yeah,
desperate.
That is going to be bro, I'm telling you, that's where the draft really starts. Like everybody's saying that the draft starts at number 1. No, hell no. The draft starts there with y'all are wild.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At a beach in San Diego, they won't
Yeah,
make that.
yeah.
There
Make
you
it
go.
happen,
Hey.
Fernando.
I'm just saying, like, if anybody knows her, let her know.
All right,
But my bad. Go ahead, Vic.
Since you brought up the GM there for the Arizona, I kind of asked the question while you guys were doing the interview with Eric Williams, and this has to do just with all the teams in the NFL right now. Which GM has the most at stake in this year's NFL draft?
I'm gonna go with Patton. You don't have a quarterback. You just got the Miles City MILF Hunter. You only have Cortland Sutton left. Where are you gonna turn to when you go to where are you gonna turn to now for quarterback? And then the other thing is, if we're being completely honest, what are you gonna do with Patrick Surtain? They just picked up his 5th-year option. But let's be honest, like if you're Pat Surtain, do you really want to stay there? It looks like it's a rebuild. You're all pro top 2 corner, and I don't think you're number 2 corner in the NFL. I think you're a generational talent for sure. But like, do you really want to stay there and be a part of all this, especially because it hasn't looked very good for them. So I'm really wondering what they're gonna do. But George Patton, he has to do something because they don't have that many picks, and I know that they've come out and a lot of people have said they're willing to trade Patrick Surtain. Well, I'm sure the Chargers. Well, yeah, somebody already said trade him to us. I'm sure the Chargers wouldn't mind giving up the 5th pick for Patrick Surtain and their 13th overall pick and maybe a 3rd rounder. But yeah, I just think that Patton. I didn't think Patton should have survived I thought he should have gotten fired with what's his name with
Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett. Thank you. I thought he should have gotten fired with him. He didn't. He's still there. I think it's still a mess. So and then he also made the trade for Russell Wilson. So I just I think that guy needs to go.
He must have blackmailed somebody because I don't get how he's still there. Like the second that Russell Wilson got let go, he should have been like.
I remember when that draft happened or that trade happened. Dan said once this fails, Patton should be gone, but he's not gone. He's still there. So I completely agree with you, Gilbert.
All right, for me, I'm gonna go with the New York Jets GM Joe Douglas. What have you really done? I get you got Sauce Gardner and you got Garrett Wilson, but outside of that, you got a couple good picks. You haven't done much. You haven't really won anything there. But New York, I can't remember the last time I went to the playoffs. Was Mark Sanchez years, right? Maybe around that time. They might have the streak for the longest playoff appearance or playoff drought, to say in a better way. But Joe Douglas, if he goes skill player, I get it. It's hard to pass on a Brock Bowers, Roma Dunzia, Malik Neighbors.
What?
And it's harder to trust Mike Williams staying healthy. You want to make sure Garrett Wilson's in a good position to succeed, but you got to keep Aaron Rodgers healthy. You went all in for Aaron Rodgers. You got one more crack at it. You want to make it work because if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt or you don't make the playoffs, you're probably out. Woody Johnson can be like, you know what? That's enough. Robert Saleh, we gave you an opportunity. So I get it. You got some old veteran guys, tackles, Tyron Smith, and I'm blanking. Was it Moses? I forget that the other tackle.
Morgan Moses.
So they're older, and they're like a hit or an injury away from crumbling your offensive line. And I like what Eric said earlier when he mentioned a cornerback for the Rams. They spent a bunch of money on cornerbacks. You got to get younger. You got to have insurance. You need depth in the NFL. You need depth in the trenches.
Tre'Davious White hasn't made it through a season in how many years?
So people are kind of, you know what, forget about that. No, you can't forget. You can't focus on name. You can't focus on the past. It's all about building, building blocks, I guess, to go off of that. So get a tackle, get a guard. It's a loaded draft class for offensive linemen. Protect yourself. You never know. Maybe the guy has to play guard for a bit, but when an injury happens, move him over to tackle. If they're going to be a first round pick, they better learn how to play guard on the spot or tackle. People get caught up in positions and things like that, and just get somebody to protect your guy in case of emergency, because that happened. And how many seconds? 12 seconds into the NFL season last year for Aaron Rodgers.
Play, yeah. And the other underrated thing, we've talked about it. Fernando has talked about it. The field at MetLife. I mean, I don't understand why people aren't talking about that. Like, eventually it's going to become grass there, but we've seen the injuries, and you have to bring in young players, and you're relying to play Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses with older guys on that turf. Good luck. And so I totally agree. And then with Fernando too, I mean, the Broncos are on the clock too with, their GM as well. I mean, eventually, we've talked about this, but Payton's, legacy is on the line, and he's not going to be the one that takes the fall. I think it'll be Patton if it's, if he doesn't get this draft right.
Oh, so Sean Payton has 4 years left on his contract?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and he's making way too much money. But remember, Chargers fans, you guys wanted that guy. You wanted the Chargers to trade for him, and now that was the funniest part. That I remember a lot of us preach patience to fans, and no, we should get Sean Payton. But I mean,
yeah, same thing with the Cowboys. Everybody thought he was going to get the Cowboys job, and I mean, he probably should have waited, but at the same time, I'm sure Charger fans are happy that that didn't happen. All right, last one for me, guys, is what team with a veteran quarterback will trade back into the first round to draft a developmental quarterback like we've seen the Packers do?
Oh. So I'm going first now?
Yes.
Is there a developmental quarterback, I guess? Because
I mean, there's a team in LA that might want to start looking for one.
It's just I don't know. I feel like if you go Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., what are you waiting for? These guys they're 30-years-olds, man. Like, they could play right now. You're not like, you get what you get. They're 30-years-olds. And then with McCarthy, the team that drafts him top 5, top 10, he's gonna play right away. I feel like JJ McCarthy should be the one to develop, wait a year, but if you pick him in the number 10, top 10, he's not gonna wait. So it's a tough one. There's not like a Jordan Love in this draft class, or even like a Jalen Hurts. So somebody has a lot of upside, but you make sure you wait on, because it's such an antsy league. But just to give you an answer, it's got to be JJ McCarthy for me. He didn't play much, or he did play. He won the national championship.
No, I meant he wasn't used enough. What team is going to trade up? Like, what team will trade or draft?
I'm getting too technical, so it will be the Vikings, and the one player I see that needs to develop. And maybe they got Sam Darnold for that reason, to make sure, you know what, you got to be the bridge. JJ, we like the upside, but that guy's not ready to play. He's Jordan Love. You got to make sure, you got to build that skill set, because he's an unknown guy. In a way, that's really helping him out. And being 21 years old, throwing 10 passes per game, handing off 40 times per game, you just don't know with the guy. Alabama game, though, that really impressed me. Maybe impressed the Vikings guys. They got a good system. I think we talked about Fernando, Kevin O'Connell, good coaching staff. You got 2 wide receivers in Jefferson and Jordan Addison. You got Hawkinson. So I think they could afford the wait. If like their jobs are not on the line with Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi, the GM, I say you go and you wait out with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. I think
Giants. Oh, my bad.
Before you go, Fernando, one of the things that I've heard a lot, and it's starting to make sense for me, as why the JJ McCarthy hype has been big. It's because everybody is looking now for the next Mr. Irrelevant. They want that guy that can run that 49ers offense. Yeah. And JJ McCarthy is that type of player, and that's why he's risen. So now you've gone from
with Minnesota, it makes sense with all those weapons.
Exactly. So that's why it makes sense for you. All right, Fernando, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with the Giants. The Giants, I know that the regime now, they didn't draft Daniel Jones, but I know that they still paid him, and they can get out after this year. Why not bring in a quarterback to develop? Keep him far away from Daniel Jones, though. Let him do his own thing, develop him, and then bring him in. But
they brought in a backup. That should start.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. I completely agree. But
was it Drew Lock? That's
Drew Lock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was big. That was fun. I completely forgot that we did that last year, so that was good to jump on that. But folks, all right, Jorge, this is the moment you've been waiting for. I hope you are excited because
He already left.
Here he is.
Just in case for all of you who thought I was fake, you get to see my eyes today. So let me ask you something. Compas on the beat. What do you want to talk about, dude?
I don't even know who you are. Where's the glasses?
I know, right? I almost feel weird, dude. I feel a little bit weird. I'm still over here at the coach's office and everything else.
I thought it was supposed to be a secret where you work, but you're wearing all the gear.
I know. Well, that's why you caught me here. Look, I even got my whistle still.
Oh, Moy's excited. He's like, oh no, you got my man.
My boy, what's up? What's good? How we doing? By the way, just as a quick reference.
Everybody loves Vic.
Just as a quick reference, my opinions.
And Athir loves him the most.
My opinions do not reflect that of my employers. Just as an FYI. What is the?
While you're in the classroom.
No, coach's office guy. A little.
Oh, sorry.
Tear up. There's like 4 TVs in here, my guy.
Jorge can't believe it. But what the hell? That ain't Dan. Y'all paid some random off the street because Dan.
I know, dude. Who the hell is this 9 to 5 Dan, dude?
Who's this dweeb with the glasses here?
We
need the sunglasses.
You know who was disappointed that he didn't get to see you? We had Eric on.
Williams?
Yeah.
That's my dog. Oh, shit. That's my dog.
You're not Dan. You're not Dan. They will never do that. Clumsy.
He was like, he asked if you're coming up on Friday because he's going to practice on Friday. Or the draft on Friday. I'm like, no, Dan's not going.
Yeah,
he's like, damn it.
Yeah, I got work to do.
Yeah.
I got I don't know if I have meetings on Friday actually. No, I think only Thursday.
Dan,
can I ask Dan a question?
Go ahead. Okay,
go ahead. Just so I can get a count here. How many Michigan players will the Chargers draft?
I'm gonna go shocker 0.
Oh,
0.
Damn.
0 guys.
Okay.
Because I think my opinion is this, right? When it comes to this, the Michigan players, I mean, it's awesome. They know the system, everything else. But I understand now he has such a wide net. So the guys who essentially did not pick him in the recruiting process, he can go get those guys. So, I mean, now I think I'm going to go with 0. Yeah, he's not, I'll just say the previous regime, to put it kindly, that he's not fixated on one institution. I think he's going to get 0. He's going to get 0 Michigan players. I'd say 1 at the most.
Look at that. I told you. Athir's always
there you go. There you go.
One more question. Sorry.
I gotta go ahead. That's all you.
What did everybody say?
Okay.
What did everybody say? What were their names?
I said 1.
Gilbert said 3.
What a scumbag. You see how he's trying to sabotage him already?
All right, Dan. I had this one specifically written for you, this question.
They won the championship.
What GM in the AFC West has the most at stake in this draft?
That's not even a question. Who's the guy I've been trying to fire the whole time? Yeah, that's easy. It's 100% George Patton. George Patton, what has he done since he's been the GM of the Broncos? Except produce mediocre teams that Sean Payton elevated a little bit more to get into that. I think they got 8 wins this year, or they get a little bit less. They get 5?
Like 6, I think.
No, I don't think
they did not get 8, did they? They won 5 in a row, and then kind of took a crap after that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. George Patton 100%. After the terrible trade, after the what the hell was that? What the hell?
Like if you do the thumbs up.
And really?
Yeah, remember sometimes it does it.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea. But the terrible trade, the terrible contract, Russell Wilson, both of those, those are at his feet. The buck stops with him, and they haven't really produced anything. Like I see the Broncos on my schedule. I say that's a dub. That's almost like the Raiders. No offense.
Yeah.
But
they beat them in Denver every year. Yeah, right.
Well, that's the only problem. They shit the bed every time they're in Mile High. I don't know why, but everybody hates playing in Denver. I just don't get it. But like in the sense of, am I worried about their team? I'm not worried at all.
These takes are like, you seem smarter talking without the sunglasses. I like your takes. You just seem like you seem like a bright person.
I want to call you something more than a scumbag.
It's a compliment.
Hey, I am me with the sunglasses or not, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
You don't even have a comeback when the sunglasses are. You like firing at me. So I
I'm wearing all my school logos. There's very few I can say. There's very few I can. Anybody in San Diego knows what this logo means. So
Dan, you are a man of the people. People want to say,
hey, I'm the real people's champ. Unlike that fraud over there, Dwayne.
Moy wants your thoughts on this from CTESPN that Justin Herbert will be traded to the Minnesota Vikings.
Get that off the screen. Get that off the screen. I'm not watching that garbage. I'm not giving it airtime. That's horse shit. I will say that.
Right.
That is absolute manure. Let me tell you something. The son of Odin, like how can I put this? If you're building a home, the son of Odin is the base foundation of it. Like, what are we doing? That's like trying to trade a Ferrari for, a Volkswagen Bug or whatever you want. Like, get out of here. Son of Odin ain't going nowhere. You understand that? He's the god of lightning, dude. I'm not even worried. I got Jim Harbaugh on the son of Odin.
Yeah, no, that's a theory. I mean? Come on, don't be a D-bag.
Oh, hold on. Let me look at these comments. You guys are looking at
No, Dad.
You gotta flip a table in that classroom.
Don't know nothing. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay, guys.
Here, there you go. Here's
Dan,
a good
I
one.
hate you. Oh, you're good. Hey, no worries, Athir. It's all good. Oh shit. How do I work this? Your comments don't bother me at all, Athir. I don't even know who you are, guy. You're just a guy on the internet. It's all good. Shit. I don't know what I did. Oh, here we go. I'm back. Hey, it doesn't bother me. Let me tell you something. The thing that you can never accuse me of, Athir, whether you love me or you hate me, is that I am fake. Everything I tell you is right here. I shoot from my hip. Easy peasy. Don't even worry about it. All this is real. Whether you like it or not, hey, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out, dude. It doesn't bother me at all.
Dan,
I'm sure of myself. I know who I am. It is what it is.
Dan, before we jump off of here, let me ask you a quick question. Does this look like an individual that is gonna trade away Justin Herbert?
Oh, show me that photo again, dude. I was in between. Look at this. Like, to all the men out there, find yourself a woman who looks at you like Jim Harbaugh looks at Justin Herbert. Are you kidding me? You could Photoshop my ass in there. That's exactly how I'd look at him if I was in person. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way you saw him at Radio Row in LA.
Dude,
remember that?
Why isn't he wearing khakis though?
He's got the blues.
That was interesting.
Those are navy blues.
That was interesting.
Change
that bag looks pretty faded.
Dan, real quick, you are a resident Colorado.
I was wondering. Our
Colorado expert.
Oh no!
I was
wondering of what Comorman McLean said about.
How do you find this?
Everyone's speaking on my name. Be a part of a real and a great program that's going to impact me at my best ability. And yeah, ready to get to a new place and get to work. Yeah, I feel like I just don't want to play for the Clicks. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program.
I don't want to play for Clicks.
So basically, McLean was their big star recruit last year, 5-star. He ended up opting and like now he's in the portal. A bunch of 4- and 5-star athletes are in the portal.
From Colorado?
Colorado. They're leaving.
Wow.
So what do you make, Dan? What do you make of
this big news
of what he said?
What he said, in all honesty,
stop reading the comments.
I know that's where I was. Hey, like I tell people,
he's like, I don't care.
I read it. You see, that's the difference between Fernando and I being siblings. You ask me to, talk and then read. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna end up talking what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to read that out loud. But when it comes to that, we've talked about this, dude. Like, they're trying to make it into some Hollywood production or whatever else, where like they're just filming everything, all these edits, all this, trying to get, the star power and everything else. I understand that's awesome for recruiting. Some recruit sees it like, oh, Coach Prime going in on him. Oh, that's awesome. Coach Prime this and the team that, but when you're there, it's a completely different thing, dude, because what if he's telling me clicks and stuff like that, maybe Dion isn't the guy who he presents himself on screen and everything else. Maybe the program doesn't, just because the glasses are off doesn't mean I change up. Maybe the program doesn't stand for what he says it stands. Yeah, he's been
guys to the portal. What are you looking forward to reestablish? What position groups are you hunting in the transfer portal?
I wish you guys do a little more homework when you start talking about the portal. and understand what we losing. What are we losing?
Damn.
I got time today.
Wow.
Does he think he's in a team meeting? Who is this?
What are we losing?
What the hell is he's in a room full of reporters, right?
Potential.
Yeah.
Where?
Tight end, running back.
You haven't been watching practice, huh? Amen.
So basically,
See-
you took a shot at all the players that are leaving.
But that's what I'm talking about, dude. Like in my mind, and honestly, I think that's funny to us, clicks for us, and everything else. But like as a coach, like I'm not big on, how can I put this? Public humiliation type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like if I need something from a guy, I'm gonna pull him aside, or I'm gonna pull him one-on-one, or whatever it is, because that stuff rarely works in my opinion. Oh yeah, the last chance you're bringing this up. Well, let me tell you
Shiloh.
something. Don't forget about Shiloh now.
So basically,
He's gonna be a
Gilbert
player.
and Vic, I don't know if you guys know this, but as soon as those people transferred, Shiloh put this out. But hold on, if you zoom in,
I know.
he goes, "This is not last chance you." So he was obviously taking a shot at Coach JB.
We need to get him on. Dude. That guy's a legend.
And JB kind of responded today, and he's like, "Look, you guys are last chance you. You guys are recording everything. You guys are last chance you." So,
on top of that, like program's biggest objective besides winning and everything else is retention. And if you have a hard time retaining players, I think that all right. Appreciate you, big dog. All right then. You have to understand, dude. When I see this and I read it, I'm gonna take it as dry. There was no laughing emojis, nothing after it. I know it's kind of stupid that we need, subtle clauses or subtle things in there, but I couldn't feel the love. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I love everybody on here. You know what I'm saying? That's why we bust our ass to try and get the best content for all you. By the way, Ryan Garcia, go check out all that stuff. Oh, hey, that's big facts.
Yeah,
That's
I can see it. I can see it.
We should get Dan in Kelsey Plum's DMs as well.
Who's Kelsey
He has
Plum?
competition already with his brother.
Who's Kelsey Plum?
Oh wow.
She's a WNBA player. She was married to Darren Waller.
Yeah, come on. You can't expect me to know this. I can tell you who Becky Lynch is. I can tell you who Liv Morgan is. I can tell you who Sub Row is.
Yeah, we get it.
Zhang, what was that? Zhang, what's her name? Wally or what was it?
Wei Li.
Wei Li. Come on, you can't.
Here we go.
Again?
This is so easy, dude. This is so easy. Yeah, get Josh Allen's ass out of there. Exactly. It's already set up. I would
They
take
made
Burrow.
that graphic like that on purpose, though.
I would take Burrow over Allen 100%. I think Allen turns the ball over a little too much for me. He plays too much hero ball. I think Burrow's a little bit smarter and everything else. And I mean, none of those guys can hold the jockstrap to the son of Odin to begin with. So.
By the way, last one, I swear.
Oh, I got one more. I got one more.
I got traffic.
Okay.
I got traffic. I'm not in a rush.
Does this look funnier to you guys now after what happened?
Oh yeah.
NGQ, doing what I do. All white.
What the hell is
Okay.
Devin Haney wearing? Like,
I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking the fight serious or not.
Okay. Did anybody see he was wearing the Demolition Man shades?
Was that the Wesley
I wouldn't
Snipes?
have guessed.
Yes.
The get
I
up.
wouldn't have
Oh,
guessed. I wouldn't have
yeah.
guessed
I
it.
didn't even think
Nobody,
about that. Hold on.
I'm like, why
Is that what he was going for? Like on purpose?
Let me
He looks
bring
like
it
a
back.
weirdo. He looks like a weirdo. That's not a boxer
Yes.
right there.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
didn't
what he's wearing.
even think. I knew those glasses looked familiar, but okay, good one on that
All
one.
right, all right, Fernando. We gotta give them credit because the guys, the lower tier below us, no offense, Dan and Victor, they got it correct. They chose Ryan Garcia, and we went Devin.
I'm
Haney.
glad you reminded me of this.
I know.
Let
Go
me tell you
ahead.
something.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. I can't do the scream because I'm gonna get tossed out. Or
Oh no,
arrested.
do it.
I know. Fuck off. No, but the Gilberto curse lives on. Like, can you
No.
start paying attention?
I
Can
No,
we
no,
I
no.
start
thought
paying
about that
attention?
too.
No.
Let's look at the history.
Pick
Hold
your
on.
wins and losses. I chose Alex Pereira a week ago, and you got Jamal Hill. So get out of here. We're 1-1. All right.
What are you talking about? You're gonna not pick the guy who came on the show, the program?
Is that what we
That's
do
kinda
here?
weird.
Just pick our friends, I guess.
100%. You so get this right. Oh,
But Dan, you got screwed by that referee.
He did. He had a TKO.
I did. But
You would have had a
let me tell you
TKO in the first, in the fifth,
Yeah.
and then in the
Seventh.
seventh.
I had buddies all week text me. Some of them saw me here. oh, there's your boy Ryan Garcia after he did his, Bohemian Grove stuff and talking about the kids and all that other stuff. And they started texting me doing all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, he's my guy. He's been on the show twice.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
We're friends.
No shit. Yeah, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a ride for Ryan Garcia.
Two-time
So much
guest.
he's done for the program. Yeah, we got to get him on the
Three.
the trifecta. We got to get him.
No,
for a third
we've had
time.
him on 3 times.
I thought it
No,
was two.
twice.
No,
No,
twice,
3 times.
What's
Let
the
me
third?
No, twice, bro.
I remember the one where he had
Twice.
just gotten out of bed, and then the one
COVID,
Yeah.
the one in the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
true.
it's twice. Trust me, I would
Twice?
remember.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
counting
twice.
the one where he
Twice.
shoved Devin Haney and recorded that. I'll take that one too. That was
No,
1.6
that
million
doesn't
views.
count. That doesn't count. That
Dan,
doesn't
you're
count.
about to be an even bigger fan of
No,
Yes,
these
but-
dudes are whack.
So what's
bro.
your
I don't care
problem with
how much-
Logan and KSI? What's your issue
They're
with those guys?
leechers, man. They're just they don't stand for nothing, bro. They're
That's
puppets.
big facts.
I don't like people like that.
That's big facts. Dude, I'm about to be a Ryan Garcia guy. Does he sell merch? I might. By the way, I bought some WWE merch. I'm about to have a surprise for you when it gets in here for next episode, dude.
Oh wow!
And I'm going to freaking get
It's gonna
after
be-
your ass.
John Cena gear or what?
Oh, my God. I'm not an idiot.
that's
No
the-
offense to anybody
the
out there.
armbands?
John Cena's – oh, did I tell you? I wanted to get that for Fernando for
What the hell
Halloween.
is this?
Is that Nick Hardwick?
Oh, it is.
With
Why is Nick
Justin
Hardwick?
Herbert.
Look, my ball,
Why?
Easton Stick
Why?
there.
Why is he
Don't
still
even
on
get me
the
started.
team?
Don't even get me started. That guy
Oh,
can't
Nick
be a
Hardwick
bad.
is the assistant.
That
he
man
was
lost
talking
by
about Stick.
50
He was talking
points
about
and still
Stick.
in the roster. I love it.
Assistant
about
offensive.
Stick.
Oh wait. Oh, you're talking about
Stick.
Stick. My bad.
Like, why is he still on the team?
I was going to tell you, I was going back at it, right? Yeah, I'm a Ryan Garcia guy, 100%, especially after that. Yeah, I can't stand Logan Paul and the other idiot either. But, oof, we get into some dangerous topics. So we blow up the internet. Because, unlike them, anything you wanted to talk about is controversial, I'd pull it out. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Here's
I
a
don't
big
care if it's a
question.
conspiracy.
You think we could get him on a third time now that he's gotten bigger and more
100%.
popular?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
He
all right.
knows us. Yeah, that's our guy, dude. And I'll tell him, hey, some, asshat know nothing on the program
Okay.
picked against you.
There's
Guess
two
who did it?
asshats.
Two.
known as it.
The
There's
two
two.
hosts.
Guess who did it? But let me tell
My
you
brother
something.
would not throw
So
me
you
under
guys
the
got to
bus.
interview him
never-
next time. Dan and Victor have to interview them because we
I
lost.
would never throw him under the bus. Shit, I can't point.
Yeah. Did you guys see that it wasn't beer that he was drinking? That
Yeah,
it was
it was
apple
Apple
juice?
cider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
either way,
Yeah.
dude's a dog. Like
Yeah.
let's just improve and let's keep going, dude. Let's ride it.
Content gold. I'll give him
Let's
that.
ride
We
it.
got a lot of subscribers because of Ryan Garcia. We'll give him
But the
credit.
thing is like he knows how to sell fights. He's trying to pull a Connor, dude, and it's working.
He should have
just needs to
gotten
keep winning.
a
He needs to
bigger
keep
back because him and Bill Haney were the ones that sold this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
him and Bill were the ones
Dude,
selling this.
So it was funny. I
Uh,
saw a piece of the fight. I didn't know Bill Cheney was his trainer. So when I see a guy with like purple shades in the ring talking to him, I'm like, what the hell is this, dude?
That's
Oh
why
my
they're
He
giving
God.
might be a
him.
new trainer now, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Gilbert, Athir is asking you if you think that the Chargers trade with Minnesota or stay pat.
I say they do trade, but to end the show here, I want to hear Dan. Dan, this is your final time you can make a prediction. What do the Chargers do at number 5 or they trade back?
I'm gonna go with they're gonna stay at 5. Everyone's always said trade back. Let me be the opposite. Let me
Who are
be
they
a
taking?
dog. Let me be an innovator. Let me be a maverick. Let me stand on Ramirez Island. Let me be on the island of relevancy because there's only one, and everyone else is a freaking 2. All
Who are
right.
they taking, though? Who are they
Who are
taking?
they taking?
Or is it?
No. Put that horse shit down. We're not doing that here, dude. You respect the tribal chief. Let me tell you something. Who are they taking? Before I get on my other tangent. Who are they taking? I'm going to go with Arizona. Oh, I can't say a curse word. Hold on. Arizona messes it up. Let's keep it clean. Kid show. Arizona messes it up. I think they're going to trade out or do something else maybe or get somebody else. I'll say they just get Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors, whoever. I'm not worried about it. I got Jim
What's his
Harbaugh,
name?
son of Owen. Malik Neighbors.
Malik
Malik
By the
Neighbors.
way,
Dude.
hold on. What's the quarterback of
Shadur. You see, I'm even showing you how to enunciate it. Shadur Sanders. But I'm
And
gonna tell you,
his brother?
Shiloh. Don't forget about Shiloh now.
All right.
He's the forgotten child.
I didn't even know they had a daughter. Their daughter's also transferring out.
There's a reason why you don't remember, but I'm
Yeah,
not gonna say
you know
it,
this,
but-
Gilbert?
I had
He
no
has
idea.
a daughter that.
How does a
that's
daughter
playing.
transfer out?
Yeah,
He's a
she
basketball
transferred out
player.
of college.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Oh,
Look at him.
okay.
Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah.
The whole
What an
family is
idiot.
talented.
What an idiot. I was gonna say, hey, in case you're wondering, Dion Jr., very talented. He has his own media company and he does all this stuff and everything else. Only records his dad in the team, but he's on there. He's doing stuff. You know what I'm saying?
He's a
little the year of the Nepo. But
By the way,
let's look at the history, shall we? Gilberto
Get out of here.
picked Devin Haney, took a fat L.
Okay.
He bought a tribal chief shirt, and our tribal chief paid the price, of course.
It wasn't for me.
It doesn't matter. You purchased it. Your money went in there.
Okay.
Boom, boom,
The
boom.
curse went with transaction or the curse.
Yeah. You're lucky I can't go further. I mean, look at the Charger season. Look
I
at
don't
the
know.
Rams season. I mean,
You just pick and choose when you want, and when I pick Alex Pereira, right? You don't even give me credit, but whatever.
that was the favorite. You pick favorites. That's what you like to do.
Devin Haney was a favorite, and I got it wrong. What are you talking about?
didn't he pick the Bills against the Chiefs? No, the
No,
Ravens.
No.
The Ravens.
Damn you
Oh, I
for
did,
that.
I
That's
did.
right. Then he picked. Didn't he pick the other team in the Super Bowl who they play?
Yeah,
He
the
was the
Niners.
only one that picked the
Bastard.
No, I picked the
Pick the
Chiefs
49ers.
also.
Bastard.
By the way, look at this.
This device will save your life. In China, they invented an
No
automatic
thanks. I'm good.
No, hold on. Look at
Don't
the
want
top
it.
thing, though.
sides, creating a vacuum.
It says,
Oh,
"Please
wow.
give me the device of the 49ers." So they don't
See?
choke at the sideline.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
Oh, I can't even see.
more
it.
like
It's so small.
to
Oh, hold on.
Kyle Shanahan.
What the hell is that?
I don't
It's
trust it. For them, it'll. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. You guys are trying to get me in trouble. You
All
guys
right,
are trying to
let's
get
go.
me in
Let's go
trouble.
on that note.
All
Let's
right.
go. The show's only begun, dude.
I've been here an hour and a half. We just got here, right?
Oh. Forgive me that I was working.
Wait,
And I had
you're Usher or what?
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What the?
All right, Farrell, get your Harrison.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I don't even know who that is. Who's Kayla
It's
Harrison?
the weight bully right there.
She
She's the one that
fought
beat up
on,
on Holly Holm.
Yeah, she's the one that beat Holly Holm.
Jeez Louise, dude.
By the way, did you guys hear, Gilbert? Is it official? 1.5 million buys for.
I have not heard it, but that sounds right. I did predict over 1 million buys. I even told you it's gonna be.
Here we go.
All right, I got that right.
He sees the after action report and then he says,
Oh,
I
okay,
predicted
yeah,
a million
that's my fault.
buys. No big deal.
I told them over 1 million. I said that,
All right.
which is hard
let's see it.
nowadays. with all
What
this
advice would you give
illegal
Garcia,
streaming.
Dan? I think, what I would tell him, Nancy, in my opinion, how can I put this? Be a
Gotta
heel.
watch his words.
Be a heel. Embrace it. That's what I'm going to tell him. Be a freaking heel. Embrace it. Mock the town you're in. Mock their grandmothers, their mothers, everybody. Be a heel. Sell the fight.
So be like The Rock, the final boss. Okay, we
Who's
got
that guy? Dwayne? I don't know. I don't know who that guy is. But the only thing I'm going to tell him that I would tell him, you got to, I think Farrell brought up a good point on Monday, or it was Alberto, I don't remember who. You have to put the work into it to improve and make sure you're a world champion. Like, if he was serious about, I think he was just kidding and trolling, like you said. But if he was serious about going out, drinking, and everything else in his, camp, then that's unacceptable, dude. Like, that's not the mark of a champion. That's not, a fighter. A fighter's known for training and chasing. That's what you got to do the whole time. You got to be focused. Like, if you're not making weight because you're being a dumbass, like, you can't have that. Because essentially, if I remember correctly, if he would have made weight, he would have won the championship, right? Or it would have been a title fight.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now you just lost a great opportunity because you weren't disciplined enough.
By
So
the way,
that's the only thing I would tell
Fernando,
him.
this is how kooky boxing is. So the rules, in most cases, if you're the champion and you lose to a guy who's overweight, the belt's vacant. But all of a sudden, the WBC is saying, actually, Devin Haney is still our champion. What the hell? When did this become a rule? So apparently, Devin Haney got beat the crap out of, and he's still the champion. So I don't know. Boxing, I tried to tell you it's vacant. I was wrong, apparently. So I wanted to make that clear.
Our compa Chado Chocinco. Oh, damn.
There you go. It buffers. It's because Alberto kept talking about it.
Oh, sorry.
But you see what I'm saying? Like who I kind of like that I've kind of found recently, although he was OG UFC, the Shael.
Oh, Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
Dude, his clips are hilarious. And like,
he's the original Conor McGregor. People forget about
exactly.
But American wise.
And in my opinion, like, that's who you gotta be. You know what I mean? You gotta be. But if I remember right, oh, here we go. All right, cool.
Before you answer that, hold on. Before you answer that, I'm still in my prime. Go ahead. Disrespect. No disrespect.
Look, it's easy for real, man.
Easy?
Easy. Just get hands on him.
I said that's
He
the
wasn't
problem.
strong.
Everybody say that.
He wasn't strong like
what?
that. He wasn't strong like that. He wasn't trying to block for
No, I
real,
wasn't
man.
physically imposing at all. But it's one thing couldn't nobody do with me. See these things down here? See that?
Dance?
Hey.
Take him to the dance.
What?
Take him to the dance.
What? Man, right off the line. I don't even see you. I'm not saying I'm Ray Charles, but I don't see you.
That's crazy, dude. I don't get where these young bucks get off. You know, they forget that Chad Ochocinco, for instance, played the NFL when men still played in the NFL, like taking heads off over the middle.
Remember when he tried to hit Ray Lewis? When he tried to block him? You guys remember that or no?
Of course I do. That's on Ray Lewis's highlight tape. I remember that. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I don't understand. Like Sauce talking trash, really? Like you're playing in an NFL that's soft. You know what I mean? Like who's the best receiver has to go up against? Jamar Chase and some of these fools? None of them could probably tie up the shoes of, hold on.
What about the quarterback in LA?
Oh no, hold on. My boy could sling in whatever era it is. He's good to go. Have you seen the abuse he's taken, my guy? I've been pounding on this table to get him more help and protect him at all costs, but
Dan, we appreciate you being able to jump on because I know it was a last minute thing. I texted you. I was like, hey, Gilbert really wants to see you.
Yeah.
Can you jump on?
You see what I'm saying? There's plenty of me to go around, my guy. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to feel like I'm abandoning you because I'm not. Even when I'm not there, I'm there, if that makes sense. Like, no, I'm here.
I'm glad you're here because you are doing well on the Instagram page. You got 1 million views on some of your videos. So
that was all
check
you
out
guys,
the IG page because
that was all you guys.
Because of our boy here.
Check it out.
So
Compas on the beat.
So
yeah,
Gilbert, just
real
real quick, are we coming back at all this week, or is this done, or what?
Well, I'm trying to put together a Thursday show for the draft. I think Victor's gonna help me out. I think Daniel might be a little late, and Fernando, you might be in Costa Mesa. So let's make it happen. A draft show of the top 10 picks, top 5 picks, or whenever the Chargers pick. I am down to do a live show on Thursday. How about that?
I'm just gonna be there. Hey, shout out to you, Jorge. You're my guy. Freaking shout out. Love you, big dog. Hope everything is well.
I was gonna say, just send us your questions and we'll get them on for that show on Thursday. If anybody wants to, anybody wants to get in their questions, this is the time to do it. And we'll have our NFL expert, Gilbert Manzano.
Expert.
I was going to say, who are you talking about? I've never heard of that guy.
Yeah.
He's an expert now?
How about
you
this?
Put that on your business card or what?
Expert. I'll get the stream start like around 5 p.m. and I'll make a prediction for every pick from 1 through 5. They're gonna be all wrong, so that way we can make fun.
Well, yeah, dude, this is like throwing a hand grenade out there. You don't know if it's gonna blow up or not. Or
I'm gonna say Caleb was number 1. It's gonna probably not be Caleb was number 1.
Nancy said, "Hell yeah, I'll be there." Would be a nice one
there
round.
So,
shout out, Nancy. Shout out.
There. All right, let's do it.
Will we get a live shot from Dan at Chargers headquarters?
No, God, no, I'm not going up there. No, not on a Thursday.
No.
I work here Friday. No. And Friday's early morning for me. We got workouts.
He's a busy guy.
We're gonna try and get Dante on the show.
Lescano.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can filter that guy, bro. Like that'd be a handful, man.
Dude, he's the best. You should.
He's supposedly coming with me on Thursday, so
that's great. Oh, you know he's gonna pop his head in the window. You
know what makes me laugh? Every time I watch a Rampage video and he's like this, like, hey, he's in the shot. Like, get the hell out of the shot, Dante. And Rampage is like, who the hell's that guy? And for now, I was like, he's cool.
Yeah.
Are you sure? He's like, are you sure I can handle him? I'm like, no.
He's like,
it's fine.
Rampage looks like he can still go, dude.
Hey, when he said he had a separate phone for people to call in and talk, he's like, I'm not a good speller, but I'll talk shit. I'll talk. You guys make sure you guys go back. If you guys haven't watched us with Rampage, that was fun. Farmers Want a Wife, Gilbert.
Hey,
that was fun.
That video picked up, by the way. I want to get noticed. It got like a couple thousand views. So.
I'm waiting for the show to be done so that we can watch
the
it.
Farmers that need a wife.
Yeah, got 1,000 views.
No, like 2,000. Yeah. And supposedly people were watching for like 5 to 10 minutes, so they were really into it. Anyway.
Oh, really? I was telling.
Whoa! It's gonna be clean. Would be sick if y'all took shots if someone donated live.
Oh, I can do that.
You know what? I have a tequila bottle that Gilbert brought. I am down.
Oh,
the way.
okay.
Gilbert, do you still have your payment from the old your payment that whiskey or what bourbon? What was it?
Oh, the one from the old the OG payment. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'll take maybe one. I gotta write that day, but I could take one shot.
Hey, I'll do this. We want to do $5 a shot or $10 a shot.
She put 20.
Oh man.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, I'll go 20 a shot. We'll do
right,
20
well,
a shot.
all
All right,
we'll
no problem.
See you guys on Thursday then. Bring your
I'll
booze.
get going. I'll
Oh
make sure I
my
go-
God! Everyone donate a nickel a piece. Freaking Jorge.
I don't think I'm
But
gonna
hey,
look like that,
make sure
dude.
you guys check out the newsletter this week. Make sure you guys check out all the work that Gilbert and I have put together the last 3 weeks. Whether it's WWE, man, that Kevin Owens video really took
Dude,
off. That
that's
was
my
pretty
dog.
cool.
I love
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Owens.
So
Give him a title.
make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys check out everything from UFC. Remember, the Notorious one is back. So make sure you guys check out that video where Dana White announces that Conor McGregor's returning. And then last weekend, obviously, we got a lot of cool stuff from Ryan and Devin Haney. I also got to speak to Bill Haney. I know a lot of people a lot of people jumped into those comments after the fight was over. And so I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, random. I don't know if we told you guys, but it was just random. Gilbert and I had just done a stand-up from Barclays with obviously Sebastian, our guy Sebastian Milo, and all of a sudden Bill walks out, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'll ask him. So I asked Gilbert, I'm like, what do you think? He's like, try it. I'm like, all right. So I go up and
the camera was ready and the microphone was ready.
Yeah, he's like, I'll give you a minute.
No
I'm
big
like,
deal.
all right. Yeah. So
tell the asshole, or sorry, the bad guy, he gave you 47 seconds.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
the guy on that video.
But it was a good ending. It's gonna be on his back, and then it turned out not.
And then
to
he
be.
walked away.
I told for after I saw
We
that
should
video, like,
re-edit that with him, his son being
Getting
knocked
knocked
out.
That's
Oh
funny.
man,
We're not trying to make enemies here.
he did make time, so we can't do him like that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
But yeah, make sure on Thursday you guys tune in. It'll be different combinations. So Gilbert will be the one that's there, but maybe it's Vic, or maybe it's Dan, or maybe it's me. We're gonna be jumping around. But that's probably where I will jump on to talk about what the Chargers did with the 5th pick, or if they traded back. Okay, let's just put it like this. If the Chargers keep number 5, I will jump on there with these guys. It's at 5 o'clock, Jorge. It'll start at 5 p.m. Pacific. But if the Chargers make their 5th pick, I will jump on. We'll discuss it there, and that'll be basically the pod. If the Chargers trade back, then Dan and I will jump on later. Maybe if Gilbert also wants to jump on later, and we'll discuss whatever the hell they did. It'll be a mess or whatever. And then obviously Gilbert and Vic will jump on to do House of Horns and talk about, man, if those guys trade back, I think it'd be funny. But Eric said, though, they're probably going to jump up. That'll be interesting as well. So very interesting. But basically, we got you guys all covered with that stuff. Make sure you guys tune in. So 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. So make sure you guys are tuned in. Don't forget to check out everything else we've done. And thank you so much to Doug Kyed, to Eric Williams, to Dan and Dago, to Vic the producer, for all jumping on. Vic had some great questions for us on relating to draft day.
Sure.
So it was awesome. But again, thank you guys so much. This was awesome. 2-hour show. Gilbert's probably going to kill me for this one.
It was a good show. I did like all the guest appearances, and then having Victor come
Getting
on.
Eric
too.
Williams was awesome.
I was like,
yeah,
I love that guy.
That was a last minute thing. I was like, Eric, can you jump on? He's like, I ain't doing shit. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he was able to jump on. Oh wow, Vic, you have a new nickname.
There we go.
There you go.
Victory Vic, shout out.
Oh, Dan, somebody wants their shout out.
Nancy, of course you can get a shout out. Oh shit! I can't read these comments. I just can't see these comments.
No. She's waiting. She's waiting for something unique, Dan.
Right here.
I can't do it. I can't do that today. I can't do that.
There
today.
you go. Come on. Just do it. And you're soft boys.
We got a new drop.
They're gonna think I'm killing someone in here if I start.
So make sure you guys tune in again. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Jorge, Nancy. I saw Delbert, Dennis, Athir, GS. Dan, Moy, what's it? How do you say the thing?
Show it
again?
up. I need to see. I need to read this.
Show it up.
I need to read this. Yeah, hold on. Show it up. Yeah. Signor vive moi. I don't know. Signor
Yeah, there
vive
you
moi?
go.
I don't know.
All you
years of
guys,
French.
thank you guys so much for jumping
High
on. Don't
school.
forget, we will. Nancy loved it. So make
Shout
sure you
out.
guys tune in on Thursday. Again, thank you guys so much. But Gilbert, for the time being, sabes que vámonos.
Yeah, on that note, again, thank you for everybody jumping on the live. We'll see you on Thursday. This is actually a pretty fun show. Normally, I do get mad Fernando when it's 2 hours, but hey, today was worth it. But on that note, ya nos vamos, pues, vámonos.